am so sorry for having such a fat freaking ass. It isn't my fault that I was born with a huge monster truck dumper. My ass is just so astronomically large. I might even have my own orbit. I don't even know who I should see, a doctor or an astronomer.
Okay, cool. I couldn't see anything.
We're live, so you can talk now.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know when we're live unless I'm watching the live stream, because this call doesn't show like our room or whatever, so I'm never really sure when we're 100% there. Okay, I can't guarantee that we will be firing on all cylinders. We are down at least one or two, but we are here, and we're going to talk about someone that MC Toon helped absolutely obliterate lately, so I'm pretty excited. And there's a lot of tentacles in our room right now, and I'm very okay with that. So let's just go around, everybody, kind of introduce yourself and tell us what you're up to. The introduce yourself part is, take the initiative.
Oh, really? Oh, damn. Okay, well, I'm Quiddies the Sprinkler. Hang on, no, I'm not Quiddies the Sprinkler. I'm not Zoomy. I'm not Mel. Oh, that's right. I'm okay, Boomer. And I've got an important note for that woman who flipped the bird at me when I tooted her in the car. I don't think your phone's on the roof anymore. How are we, guys? Daniel Seppings, another fellow Aussie in arms, a good old scammer out there, playing to the world stage in the art of scammery. And as you can imagine, charlatan and shyster is what he's not very good at, but unlike us at the bunker, in fact, I've got a ring laser gyro for only $19,000. Comes with a bismuth case, and I've also got a laser pointer with a bent lasers. But apart from that, us Aussies, well, Daniel Seppings is a man among men, and he lives in good old Melbourne, which is my place of origin too. So we certainly know how to churn him out. But on that note, we've got plenty to get into on this, and quite a few of his rather illustrious histories coming up. So I'm going to handball it across to, let's see, who will it be? I would say Mallory. How are you, Mallory? How's stuff been, and how's your week been?
I'm good. I'm setting a trip to go to Finland soon, so I'll be documenting my learnings on that. So it's going to be good.
Finland's fake, isn't it? So you know, like Australia. We all live in South America. This is why Daniel's there. Okay, that's good. What else?
Oh, that's it with me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll flip it over to Psycho Bob then. What's your life like, Psycho Bob, between? Oh, well, you've had some family issues. Do you want to elaborate on that, or would you rather sweep that under the rug, like you're looking like?
What? My father almost getting arrested?
Well, you want to go with it? I don't know.
Shit happened. He didn't get arrested. End of story.
Okay. It's normally the other way around, don't you? Aren't you supposed to ring your dad to say, come and get me out of jail, Dad? That's what I used to do. You guys in America, because we're upside down compared to you guys, your parents commonly ring you to get bailed out or what? And get the dog on the job?
Well,
the dog and Beth?
I'd give you the whole story on the stream, except my dad's a 6th-degree black belt in Aikido, and I enjoy not being bent in half.
Fair enough. Could make for an exciting stream, though. Okay, then.
Yeah, that would make for a great stream.
and of course, well, we'll go in there, Bob, or would you rather not get bent into bits? Because I reckon that'd be so entertaining. Or should we flip it over to Zoomy?
I'll flip it over to Zoomy. Maybe another time.
Ashanti, we really need to talk about you and the tentacle machine, because it's getting a little bit out of hand.
There's nothing to talk about.
You just keep on summoning them. They're growing out of your head.
I failed to see why this is a problem.
Okay, fine. Just Keep them away from me. They keep on trying to get underneath my skirt at night, and it's really scary.
Shh, just let it happen.
Anyway, tonight we'll be talking, like Billa said, about John Seppings, Daniel Seppings, Danny Seppings, John Seppings, Daniel Frank, Tony Sinclair, Ken Scott. All these names are the same person, apparently. Just different aliases he goes by. We probably won't be talking about the screen that I'm currently on because that's just the introduction to him. We've got about 3 stories and 4 YouTube videos to go over. Plus the
Yeehaw.
Plus, I don't know if we're going to go over MC Toon's stream because we already did that. We premiered that on Thursday. So
I mean, just because we mirrored it doesn't mean that people on our end have seen it, which most likely I would say the vast majority have, but we can still talk about it because it was absolutely incredible. Like the amount of just simple research and evidence and getting the guy live on air to just try to backflip his way out of all these, instances of fraud. It was way too much entertainment.
The mental gymnastics involved were just gods. He should sign up for the Olympics. He should sign up for the Olympics with all the mental gymnastics he was doing.
I wish that there was more than like 2 or 3 people in the audience right now because I have a challenge for some people and I have to wait until we have at least some more folks in the crowd before I can kind of put it out there. So.
And FTFT said that he can't come by tonight because he was feeling sleepy anyway, and it's around 4 a.m. for him whenever we start, so yeah. What's about 4 o'clock?
He's just traumatized from last time. We silenced him. Hashtag stop silencing FTFE.
No, we didn't silence him. We were silenced ourselves because we had a stupid Aussie trying to run shit, and we know Aussies are worse than Slurps at running things.
He says with an Aussie in the chat.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I represent that remark. I'd love to throw up a wonderful case, but unfortunately, I got nothing. I'm going to agree with you on that one. Yeah, God, they're sick. Anyway, but that's the way it is over here. It must be all the beer. See, at least we know, as you know, American beer is like sex in a canoe because it's close to water. And our beer is obviously very good. And we are partial to bourbon.
Well, that is a very interesting point that you mentioned, Booma, because as we all know, there is only one single American beer.
Yeah, there's just one American beer.
Only one. There's no more types. It's only one. There's one type, one flavor. That's it. There aren't any brands. It's just one brand.
I know.
It's called Old Style.
I feel sorry for you all. I got a fact called Old Ocean, wasn't it? Or have I got my mixed up? Okay.
I love it when people from other countries try to dunk on American beer because they're like, oh, well, I had a Coors Light once and it tasted like water, so every single American beer tastes like water. I am very smart.
I are the smart. I are the smart.
Yeah, no,
SARMT.
I can agree with that because what happens, Foster's is a famous beer here. We don't drink the shit.
Oh, it's piss.
And you guys are saying it's donkey's piss. It is dead set. Yeah. The bottom of the barrel actually
is absolute piss.
Foster's?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Foster's?
I know that no one who has ever been to Australia has
for beer.
Because it tastes like piss.
I
can tell you someone who has never been to Australia or drank Australian beers when they say something about Foster's. I'm just like, oh, you've never left the country.
Like I've said before, Foster's is like having sex in a canoe. It's fucking close to water.
I think I just did that joke. But anyway, reruns. Oh my god. Apparently, weed causes short-term memory loss. But what does weed cause?
I almost forgot to mention that this week we lost a very important figure in the rock and roll / COVID doubter crowd.
Oh, God.
R.I.P. to Meatloaf, an ardent anti-vaxxer who won the Herman Cain Award this week.
Yeah.
We finally figured out what he wouldn't do for love, and that's get vaccinated against
Or wear a
COVID.
mask. Or wear a mask.
Or wear a mask, yeah. He would do anything for love, but he wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, do we want to get on to the topic at hand, or keep dilly-dallying?
Well,
We
you
can
know me,
bash
I
it
like a
Aussie
good
more.
tangent.
Yeah, tangents are fun.
Yeah.
Anything
You
to
can
give me
keep
a little
Aussie
more
bashing.
time to
I
finish
love it.
this screen on the messenger.
You can keep Aussie bashing, because one of the things I've got to point out with our illustrious government, who have just recently said we want people under 18 to be driving forklifts. Now, this is going to be cool. I've got a feeling we have this called Stockholm syndrome with our Conservative government here, because indications are people aren't going to vote them up. But how's that? 16-year-olds in a forklift. I wouldn't put a 16-year-old in a bike, let alone in a forklift. But anyway, that's what our PM thinks.
I don't think the irony is lost on anyone that a country that was initially colonized, like, as a penal colony, is back to advocating for child labor. That's very, like, right on the nose.
Yeah.
Well, just have a look inside. You can't very, very careful. We get out of your problem. Just make sure you
Oh, damn.
keep it locked.
I think you're roboting just a little bit there, Boomer.
Just a little bit.
Okay. All right. Am I back now?
Damn Australian
Go and check
kangaroo internet.
Go and check your car. Just make sure it's still there. Okay. All right,
Okay.
let's go.
So
Okay,
what's the first
I've got
thing
enough
that
of
you've
this.
got pulled up for us, Sumi?
This is the religious extremist, scam artist, and accused pedophile behind super replicas. It should be right on your screen right there.
I see it, but I was wanting you to kind of lead us into it a little bit.
Well, Daniel Seppings is quite the religious... Actually, let's get into his religion first.
Boy.
Let's see, where was it at? I don't think I actually have it loaded. Great. Dope! Let me see now. I have it in, essentially, I'll just say it. He literally thinks he is a prophet. He blames everything on Mormonism. I mean, every single thing he blames on Mormonism. Which I can tell you, coming from a position of an ex-Mormon, everything he has said about the Mormon religion is bullshit. There is no secret skull and bone society, as that was a Yale thing. That's not a Mormon thing. He couldn't even
I
get
think
that
he's
right.
getting confused because Joseph Smith took a lot of the Mormon initiation rituals and temple rites from the Freemasons. That's probably where he thinks he's going with that, but
He even wrote his own book in the Book of Mormon called the Book of Daniel.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's incredible.
That is
Oh my god.
Straight from the horse's mouth. The Book of Daniel contains extracts taken from the diary of Daniel John Seppings. His writings are formatted in scripture text as Daniel wrote these things through spiritual inspiration. Yeah, sure. That's just part of the scam. Others written in Doctrine and Covenants 68:4 and 42:61. And whatsoever they shall speak when... God damn it, I can't read this. Shanti, would you mind taking over for reading? I'm not great at that.
Hey Bob, can you do that real quick?
Yeah.
I have to burp pizza for a sec.
Okay, where were we?
And whatsoever, blah, 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 blah.
There's a photograph in the way.
Well, it's not in the way. It's actually formatted really weird, but it's not covering up any text.
Okay. And whatsoever they shall speak when moved upon by the Holy Ghost shall be scripture, shall be of the Lord, shall be of the mind of the Lord, shall be of the word of the Lord, shall be of the voice of the Lord, goes on like this, and the power of God unto salvation. If thou shalt ask, thou shalt receive revelation, knowledge upon knowledge, that thou mayest know the mysteries and peaceable things, that which bringeth joy, that which bringeth eternal life.
Yeah, the dude's a very religious nutter for some. I mean, just he wrote
Did
his
that make
own.
any sense to anybody?
No, it didn't. Not a single lick of sense.
It made perfect sense.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the man we're talking about tonight. He, God,
Maybe someone should hook him up with Gina Marie.
Jeffrey Colvin Hill. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would make an excellent pairing, actually.
I mean, a match made in hell.
Yeah, yeah, or match made in pseudo heaven. I don't know.
Or what's their planet? Kolob? Isn't that the one that they think
Yeah,
that
Kolob. Yeah.
Yeah, Kolob. Match
What-
made in Kolob.
What I don't understand is, I don't know if Daniel Seppings is one of those flat earthers who don't believe in space. But Mormons tend to think that God lives, well, Elohim, which is the name of God in the Mormon faith, which actually just means God in Hebrew, but that's beyond the
Yeah.
point. Well, Elohim is a choir of gods in Hebrew. It's a pantheon of gods. It's just the name of, it's just the word God, essentially. Right, Vishanti?
You're trying to fact check that. Elohim is one of the titles for God. It's not actually like what you would think of as a proper name. Usually it refers in Judaism to like the heavenly court kind of as a whole.
Yeah.
So, when you go to trial and the judge speaks, but talks about himself or herself as the court, that's kind of the way that works.
Yeah, that's
So if
just
someone
the title.
says, talking to the judge, if it please the court, that's kind of the way you would model that in our understanding.
Yeah, but according to Mormons, Elohim is the name of God, like the literal name of God.
Well, also Mormons have an entire book of fan fiction about, ancient Israelites coming to North America. So
Yeah, they do. But they don't worship
And I love
skulls like
I
Daniel.
love how they thought, oh yeah, they said, hey everybody, we're the descendants of, Native Americans who are actually secret Israelites who came over here and intermarried with the population. And then as soon as like genetic and DNA testing came out and proved them wrong, they're like, oh no, it's only some of them that are maybe just.
Yeah, the Mormons
Now,
believe
there's
in a lot of
also a
crazy
very
things. Oh, go ahead, Bima.
there is a very disturbing documentary, I believe, on Netflix called Murder Among Mormons, which it's probably, well, if you want to
Yeah.
go there, it's amazing what they did to cover it up. But now, get me right, South Park teaches me everything about my education on religion. Is this the one that had the dum 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 dum? Is that
Dum
the one?
dum dum
that
dum dum.
was
Yes.
Jeff Smith or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. Thank you very much, South Park. You've educated me yet again. They taught me heaps
Right.
on that. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. You've educated the ignorant.
Yeah,
yet
dude,
again, 'cause that's what we do.
that documentary was super good because like this guy took advantage of an entire religious organization because they are so susceptible to fraud. Like they will believe anything that tries to justify their fan fiction, and they bought it hook, line, and sinker. Like it does suck though that he did try to like kill himself, to make it look like I guess a false flag, but that whole thing, that was a wild ride. I thought it couldn't get crazier from here, and then it did.
The Mormons are very gullible people. They buy almost every conspiracy theory.
No, a guy who looked into a hat with some golden plates and then translated them from memory? There's no way that's not credible.
No, he did it twice. Remember, he did it first, and then
of course.
His publisher didn't accept it and said, "No, I have to see this firsthand. I have to witness you, reading
Because
off
the
the
guy's
tablets."
wife didn't believe him and hid them.
What was that?
Yep.
They
Oh,
bu-
wait, I thought they found letters from them saying that he was totally legit, guys. What about the lizard letter?
All I know is that when L. Ron Hubbard got started, I surprised the Mormons didn't sue somebody.
Well, it was all about the Thetan levels there, guys. The other thing too that stands out: anyone leaving the stream tonight, don't forget to go through the gift shop. We have genuine Mormon hats with gold plates inside them, only $120 each. Each gold plate, additional $10. So just through the gift shop on the way out, you can help
It's a
us all out a little
steal.
bit there.
What's funny is though,
It's a bargain. Yes.
what's funny is though, Smith was a very much a con man.
No.
Whenever the person in New York found this stone that he called Thuman, Thuman was one of the seer stones he used. It was Uman and Thuman that he used to quote unquote transcribe the plates. He offered the guy, I think it was around $10,000 of our money, not the money at the time, but around $10,000 equivalent today for the stone, and he said no. And when the person died, he stole the stone. He just fucking stole it from him. Nobody found it, and
If
yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's
if I can
what
jump
I
in,
heard.
guys, we've just had my secret admirer, Quiddy's joined us in the chat. How are you today, brother? Are you okay?
Quiddy!
Going to
It's
do a
about
little,
damn time someone noticed I was here. I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes.
Hey, Quiddies!
I know.
I knew there
I
was like a
noticed.
smell in the air, but I didn't know it was you.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't bathed in a couple of days. Yeah, I'm not feeling well,
Bragger.
but I did want to pop on and throw in my 2 cents about something, talking about the name of God in Hebrew. Random, weird Quiddies knowledge here. In Hebrew, the name of God cannot be known, but it's spelled YHVH.
Yeah, Yahweh.
And ancient Hebrews didn't use vowels. So that's
Modern
how
Hebrews don't either.
yeah. That's how Yahweh and Jehovah, because Y can be interpreted as J and a V can be interpreted
Actually-
as a W. So Yahweh and Jehovah, that's how those names came.
Let me just slightly edit that a little bit.
Okay.
The J thing is because of the way that English and Germanic developed over time. The J sound is not something that Hebrew has as a phonetic like pronunciation. There is no J sound. Okay. However, in Germanic language and in English Bibles, frequently I was written as a long tail. It had a long tail on it. And the Y sound, they didn't use Y for that. A lot of times they used I, and that's a holdover from Greek. And also in Greek, there's way more evidence to show that the V was a W sound, because that carries over into modern Arabic. And also, we all know how Germans are with V's and W's. They're more or less interchangeable now. That's a combination of how we got from Yahweh or Yahweh to Yehovah or Jehovah, is because you add in the I to Y to J thing combined with the W to V thing. So you can know the name that God revealed apparently in the text. However, it's more or less a conjugation of the verb haya, which means to be. So
I thought Haya meant to kick or karate chop.
you have
Yeah.
to use a though. Haya.
What? Okay, and
You
getting
have to say judo when you say it.
getting more into
Oh,
the
okay.
religious aspect as well. There is a matriarchal figure in Christianity as well as in Judaism and in other sects of Christianity called Asherah, which is the Holy Mother, which was left out of the Bible conveniently. Well, rather written out.
Well, the thing is, even in pre-Babylonian Jewish culture, Asherah wasn't seen as a intrinsic mother figure. Like, people sometimes also worshipped at the cult of Asherah, but it wasn't considered part of the pantheon, I guess you would call it. There's some evidence that initially Israelite culture worshipped Canaanite in the Canaanite style, more or less, and El and Asherah, or its equivalent, were prominent figures, but we don't really have a whole lot of evidence that the mainstream Jewish view was to worship Asherah. There are certainly people who did. We have evidence for that. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate to say she was edited out. It was minimized quite a bit, in the same way that henotheism was more or less kind of frowned upon and monotheism became the dominant, like, accepted mode of thought. But it's not like, I don't know, I used to hear mostly neo-pagans say that. They'd be like, oh, every culture had, goddess figures, but the evil patriarchs and the patriarchal religions edited them out because they hate women. And I'm like, they are definitely sexist. There is no question. But it's not 100% accurate to say that, like, the Asherah cult was on the same level as the Yahweh cult.
Well, the cults weren't the same.
I don't know.
Yeah, the cults weren't quite on par with each other because Asherah was really downplayed quite a bit, but there were mentions of her in the Bible that were scrubbed out of the King James Version. In the original Hebrew, though, she wasn't quite prominent, but she was mentioned quite a few times.
Well, yeah, because, like I said, being in the middle of Canaanite, geography, they did run into Asherah cults and El cults and Baal cults quite a bit. And some Israelites were not strict monotheists. Some of them did incorporate worship of other gods into their personal, I guess, practice. It just wasn't the dominant thing. And it was pretty frowned upon to mix that way. But that kind of leads us on a tangent about what we can verify archaeologically versus what we have in the, like, stuff like the Masoretic text, which we have actual evidence for it being changed from henotheism to monotheism. Like, Dr. Kip did a video on that very recently. Actually, it was pretty awesome.
Well, anyway, we've gotten far.
I'm sorry, my eyes are glazing over.
Yeah, I was about to say we've gotten far off topic.
As interesting as it is.
Listen, Quiddies, you opened that can of worms. You can't expect me not to address it.
I do want to say this. My level of understanding of it versus your level of understanding. In college, I had to take 2 semesters of religion. So I took, my first class was Bible and Early Christianity, and then my second class was Intro to World Religion. And that's something that we learned about in the Bible and Early Christianity class, which I took my first semester of college and failed it, and then took again my second semester of college and got an A with the same amount of effort because the professor fucking hated me the first semester. But this was at a time when I drank a 24-pack of beer, smoked a lot of weed, did a lot of hallucinogenic drugs and other things every fucking day. So a lot of the stuff that I learned from those classes did not retain.
We gotta move on. What is all this Adonai crap?
But Adonai is a word that means my lord.
Yeah, Adonai, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a title.
Yeah. Well, see,
El Yana Adonai.
Well, see, this was actually my area of expertise, coming from being an ex-Mormon. This is really my area of expertise would be in religious studies. So, if we ever do a religious stream like that, I have a wealth of information about the Mormons.
Nice. We could definitely do a stream about Mormonism.
Happy Russian Christmas. Happy Russian Christmas, guys. Let's get
Happy
back on to Daniel
belated
Seppings.
Eastern Orthodox Christmas, which was around January 7th.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew there was one. Okay. Bloody Gregorians and Romans and all these things. Now, there's our history lesson, guys. God, I've got so much to talk about.
Well, I will say that religious sidetrack, it was relevant because
Yeah.
if Daniel Seppings is conning Mormons and trying to pretend to write books of the Mormon Bible,
True.
there's a reason that he thinks he
True.
can do that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
it may
True.
not seem like it, but it is tangentially related.
the
Correct.
Mormonism is a fanfic of the book of Jesus. Well, the New Testament.
The
God damn it.
Bible.
Bible. I was
Oh
trying.
my god.
The
Zoomy.
Book of Jesus.
Jesus.
Daniel Seppings. Daniel Seppings is to Mormonism what Twilight is
50
to
Shades of Grey. Yeah,
Yes,
I know.
50
Yeah.
Shades of Grey.
I know. I heard
50
that
Shades of
joke.
Grey.
I heard that joke the other day. Yeah.
Oh man.
So,
Does that make Scientology Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. But yeah, he
Knew it all along.
But yeah, Daniel Seppings was behind this whole scam, this super replica car scam, which it's not just Daniel Seppings that does this. There are other super replica car scams out there. Apparently, I didn't know about because Psycho Bob actually brought that up to me earlier, and I'm like, there's more than one.
Yeah, there are actually a lot, and they're kit cars, is
Yeah.
what it is. You buy a shitty car, and you buy a kit to make it look like whatever you want, and then you just strip all of the exterior off of your shitty car and put the kit on, and then you have a shitty replica of whatever.
Yeah.
There was one when I lived in Chicago. There was a Ferrari. I forget what model it was. I was on Michigan Avenue one day with some friends and saw this Ferrari with this guy that looked like he was the lead singer of an 80s hair band sitting inside. And the license plate said Tony Tag. And so I was like, well, I'm going to look it up because, this could have been a famous person sighting. So I looked it up, and sure enough, it's just this guy that was really into crotch rock back in the day that bought one of these super replicas. And it's just some piece of shit car with a Ferrari body sitting on top.
Yeah.
And he drives around
well,
shirtless on Michigan Avenue all day trying to pick up chicks.
Okay. Incoming motor trade stuff here, guys. I can tell you now that the Chinese knockoffs of Yamahas and Hondas are actually a copyright infringement. And I know this from my experience working at Yamaha dealers. The PY50 is a Yamaha actually knocked them on the head. These copies, if they are too close to a Bugatti Veyron or a Ferrari, whatever, you are viewing the Ferrari, which is a $1 to $2 million car. A $49,000 Bugatti. I mean, seriously, guys, if you're getting something like that, you got 50 grand to spend, good luck to you. That is fucking idiocy. And if you ask anyone in the motor trade what that is, we're going to tell you, don't buy it. So I'm going to point this out. Kevin Ensor, a $9,000 Bugatti, does not happen. So, Daniel
and you're roboting really bad.
And you're roboting again.
Sorry. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys.
We got most of that.
We got most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just have to just a quick
Yeah.
pointing out of something in the chat. PJCnet, there's nothing at all wrong with polygamy as long as all parties consent. The problem with Mormonism is not always the parties don't always consent to the man having multiple wives.
Yeah,
but
and
the man has say he can marry who he wants, and it's not the wife's choice.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's the problem.
Yeah, and like PJ saying, I don't think that's the case with him. He didn't tell the other parties that he was already married, so yeah, that's fraud.
Right.
Yeah, that's just fraud. That's not
bigamy, technically, not polygamy, but yeah.
Yeah, that's bigamy.
I do want to bring it back to the point that Booma was making really quick before we get into this point. The Chinese knockoff thing, literally everything that China makes is a knockoff of something else. One of the Chinese Air Force fighter planes, I think it's the J-11, is really just a MiG-29 that the Chinese made a shitty replica of. That's all it is. It's the exact same body and everything, but it's just shittier inside.
Yeah. But yeah, Daniel actually convinced people that Top Gear endorsed the cars that he was but not even selling
Well,
the.
not just Top Gear. He that's what he did. He would go up to people, famous people in the motorsports industry, race car drivers, and the people from Top Gear and people like that. He would go up to them for like an autograph signing and get his picture taken with them, and then use that on the website to say that they are endorsing his company.
Yeah. Which,
Oh
Well,
my
to be
God.
fair, I wouldn't put it past that Dick Jeremy Clarkson, but
but yeah, do we have anyone that
Ask the
wants?
chef. The chef. Ask the chef. Him and Jeremy get along quite well.
Do we have anyone that wants to read the article?
I can read it if you want.
Yes, use your sexy voice, Quiddies.
When we were first alerted to the existence of a poorly shot, poorly edited YouTube video made by a replica car manufacturer that featured Tanner Faust and clips from Top Gear, it raised a number of red flags. And I do want to say, I have looked for these videos, and they've apparently been taken down.
Yeah, I did too.
Because
Aw.
I wanted to see these
I did
shitty
too.
videos that he made, but apparently he's taken them down. All the links that I found in these articles and everything, the videos had been removed, and I couldn't find mirrors of them or anything.
I actually
Anyway.
went to his to Daniel Seppings' Twitter. He had his own website at one point, but that's mysteriously been taken down as well.
Yeah.
I wonder
When
why.
he starts to get found out, he goes scorched earth, just deletes everything and
Typical.
moves on to his next scam, just like every scammer ever.
Yeah.
So it raised a number of red flags. What was Faust and Steven Spielberg doing endorsing this company? Did they really
Wow.
make you a Saline S7 for $20,000? How come they never feature any completed cars on their websites? Keep that part in mind, the completed cars. This was our first foray into the bizarre world of Panama-based super replicas, lately known as Top Gear carbon copies. It's a world full of unsubstantiated claims and falsehoods about celebrity-endorsed exotic cars that cost as much as a Toyota Camry, and it's been going on for years. If you believe them, and there are reasons why you probably shouldn't, then within just 3 months of placing your order, you can own a Bentley Mulsanne for $26,000, a Ford GT with a supercharged 5.4-liter V8 for $24,000, and a LaFerrari with a V12 for just $38,000.
Wow. Wait, so
Wow.
they're the size of Matchbox cars, right?
Yeah. Like it's a V8, but it's like half a cubic centimeter.
No, it's powered by actual V8. The juice.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's powered by
Yeah.
actual V8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And V12 is just 12 vegetables instead of 8 vegetables.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, that LaFerrari, the one that was unveiled this month. How would you like a perfect Bugatti Veyron clone? Complete with an 1100 horsepower 16-cylinder engine for only $49,000.
I would.
Hang on.
That'd be
Lopnik.
awesome.
Hang on. Wait. I have to be pedantic. Horsepower.
Yeah, sorry,
1100
horsepower.
Horsepower.
Powered by 1100 whores.
God knows I've seen my fair share of horsepower.
Powered by stupid whore energy.
1100 whores power. That's a lot of whores.
That's about a horse.
Most people
That's why
would
it's
probably
49
say,
grand.
most people would probably say that it's too good to be true. But would you feel better if it was actually endorsed and guaranteed by Tanner Faust or famed hot rodder Chip Foose? This is all part of the online strategy of Super Replicas. Their presence grown to include 5 or 6 websites, several Facebook accounts, and countless videos on YouTube that purport to show their amazing exotic car copies. Their current main sites have the curious domain names of TopGearTVSeries.com and TopGearTVShow.com. Bitchin.com.
Yeah, that's the whole article.
You gotta scroll.
That's the whole article.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Is that the one?
that was a short article on it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the article that I had
I had that loaded too, but
You know, I think we just
no,
discovered
that's the
a
same
source of
article. It
renewable
keeps going.
energy.
It keeps going.
oh, it does.
Quitties.
I'll keep reading.
Okay.
Quitties, we discovered a source of renewable energy. Horsepower.
Stupid horsepower.
Heck yeah, there are always
carbon
more
neutral.
cores to power our renewable energy source.
Danny's a genius.
All right. For their part, Super Replicas claim that they are, in fact, a legitimate and trustworthy manufacturer of replica exotic
okay.
cars.
Let's go in.
They say they make the cars in Mexico, China, and Panama, and have an office in New York. One representative personally assured me that they sell 300 cars a year, a claim they also make online. The company also claims they have been making replicas for more than 30 years. But as Super Replicas' claims of affordable exotic glory have grown online, so has their list of doubters and people ready to call them fraudsters and scammers. Entire websites are devoted to claiming that Super Replicas takes buyers' money and never delivers any actual cars. Numerous YouTube videos and comments exist to ridicule their laughably unprofessional promotional videos and hard-to-believe business plan. And I do want to talk about this. As far as the doubters go, I think the best video was this guy went to the Super Replicas quote unquote factory, which was
His garage.
It was less than a garage. It was like a rundown shack in Panama that they had two replica piece of shit cars with. I think one was a Lamborghini and one was a Ferrari body on. And the guy said, he was ready to buy one that day. But when he got there and they opened up the door, or I don't think they even had a door. I think it was just like an overhang garage thing. The car wouldn't even crank up. And they messed with it for over an hour. It's like a hidden cam video of them messing with this car for an hour, just trying to get it to start.
Wow.
The full video is online. And I think if you go to MC Toon's website, he has a video embedded there. It's by that same guy, and the video that he has embedded is that guy talking about his experience during that. So anyway, we could find no convincing evidence that they manufacture most of the replicas advertised on their website. What's not in doubt is the fact that Super Replicas has a long history of falsely claiming that American celebrities endorse their products and are actively involved in their business. After being featured in their videos, Chip Foose has said he has nothing to do with Super Replicas. A spokeswoman for BBC World Productions, which produces Top Gear, also strongly denied that Tanner Faust is involved in the company in any form. That's funny, because Super Replicas says online that Faust is their CEO.
Awkward.
If you want to purchase a Super Replicas car, let's say a Porsche Panamera, an SRT Viper, or even a Koenigsegg CCX clone, you look at their extensive online catalog and tell them what you want. They supposedly start building it for you on a tube chassis or using a donor car like a Toyota MR2. Depending on your budget, you can have a Toyota V6 engine on the low end or a new BMW V12 from a 760Li on the high end. They like to promote that engine quite a bit in their videos. Bet you didn't know there are hundreds of BMW V12s just sitting around waiting to be installed in Lamborghinis, did you?
Yeah. Really?
Perhaps best of all, they also claim they can install a Tesla Motors battery pack so your replica can have electrified performance as well. A Tesla spokesperson told me that they manufacture powertrain components for partners like Toyota and Daimler, but not super replicas. As a
Yeah.
replica car is built, they send you a bill in various stages, which makes it sound like a reasonable and even affordable way to get an exotic car. You pay as you go along. Also, there seems to be no end to what they can make you. Camaros, Escalades, Koenigsegg's, Land Rovers, the BMW concept Vision Efficient Dynamics, even the Tumbler from the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh my
Which,
God.
by the
That's-
way, I've seen in person when I was working on the movie. So, yeah. You name it, they can make it for you in 3 months, and almost always for less than $50,000.
What a steal!
They guarantee that their replicas are a good investment, one that will only skyrocket in value over time instead of depreciating like, most cars do.
So they're guaranteeing that basically you can supersede the actual value of the car that's going to depreciate, because usually cars
Yeah.
depreciate as soon as you buy them off the lot. As soon as you drive it off
literally
the lot,
moment
it
you
drops.
pay for them, the car has already gone down like $5,000 in value.
Yeah,
That
Like,
sounds
don't
so
even
good. Too good to be
get
true.
out of the lot, and
Yeah.
they've gone down.
yeah. As soon as it's out the lot, it's gone. The price has gone down.
They even offer franchising opportunities.
Woohoo.
Oh god.
Oh.
But their websites and Facebook pages almost never show the actual final replicas they purport to sell. In many cases, the photos they display online appear to be of actual Ferraris and Lamborghinis. They have a disclaimer that addresses this issue on the same page that likens what they do to making knockoff iPhones. And this is a quote from their website. Fourthly, regarding images used on our web pages, if there be any images used on our Top Gear Carbon
Eesh.
Copies web pages that represent the
Oh.
products of other manufacturers like BMW accessories or Porsche distributors at Sorry, there are a lot of
Yeah.
there are a lot of typos. Also, that if there be any images, they use the wrong there. Porsche distributors act, which are readily available on search engines such as Google Search. We declare that Top Gear Carbon Copies are solely using those images to promote the products we, quote, may use on our replicas. Our web pages do not in any way take on the responsibility to authorize an official representation or guarantee those products. We do, however, guarantee the assemblies of those products, end quote. So, a buyer sees pictures of the car he or she wants, but never sees the pictures of what he or she will ultimately get.
Yeah.
And now, the shop in Panama.
Oh yeah.
In 2008, Panama-based blogger Don Ray Williams received a request from a man in Texas. The Texan wanted him to look into Super Replica's promise of near-exact copies of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and other high-end supercars for as low as $20,000. Williams agreed to check them out.
Oh yeah.
Quote,
Wait. I have a question. I have a question
Okay.
though. So according to that Garrett, the plagiarist, what we're doing right now is illegal. I just thought about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's illegal.
Sure, Jan.
because we're reading from an article that isn't ours, but therefore aren't we doing the illegal stuff now?
We're doing an illegal.
We're doing it illegal.
We're doing an illegal.
We do crimes.
Is that a weed?
Hang on, guys.
No, it's a crayon. I'm
criming.
calling the police.
We're criming right now.
Hey, you know the butthurt Reborn people put up? How do you credit the original artist? The butthurt form of I don't know. So are we plagiarized using that? It's all too sad.
You were so close to not roboting that time. It was awesome, but then you failed right there at the end.
Damn.
Hold on a second. I do have an updated form that they can fill out real quick. Look at the screen.
Oh yeah, the little bitch report
I
form.
love that one. Now, you have credited
State
the
of
original
butthurt.
artist for that, or are you plagiarizing?
I'm plagiarizing. This is from the Department of Fucking Miserable Shit Cunts. Using the diagram to indicate exactly where the internet bad touched you.
Damn it.
I can see JM Truth filling one of those out every day.
Do you require meta-resistant tissues? On a scale of 1 to 10 being mild anal itching and 10 being crippling agony, how much does your butt hurt? Have you ever considered not being a little bitch? Anyway.
All right. Quote, I thought it could be a good post for the blog, said Williams, an American retiree blog whose blog, Chiriqui Chatter, is devoted to life in the small town of David, Panama, population 83,000. When he reached out to Super Replicas, he came into contact with a man who called himself Tony Sinclair. And if you look on MC2's website, under Danny Seppings, one of his aliases happens to be Tony Sinclair. Sinclair initially didn't want to show Williams the Super Replicas factory, saying it was for, quote, serious buyers only. But Sinclair changed his tune when Williams told him he would report in his blog that Super Replicas refused to show him the goods. Williams went on 3 tours of Super Replica shops in David. He was shown bits and pieces of far from complete Bugatti, Lamborghini, and Ferrari replicas. He saw tube frames and an MR2 that was being taken apart for conversion. He never saw the completed cars as he was promised. And I believe he's actually the guy I was talking about that did the undercover video of them not being able to crank the car for an hour. And when he found what appeared to be a completed car in front of a restaurant, Sinclair told him, quote, they were not representative of their normal high quality, and asked him not to take photos of it. He wrote that he became reluctant to post more about them without seeing a completed car. That was in 2010. These days, Williams says he has no opinion one way or another on Super Replicas. Contacted for this story, he told me he still gets traffic from searches related to the company. And he said his posts garnered a great deal of comments from prospective buyers and skeptics. In 2011, Williams received an email from a man in Brazil who said he sent money to these people and they simply disappeared. That's not uncommon, Williams told me. Over the past few years, a large number of people from Japan, Brazil, the UAE, and other countries have contacted him to say that they sent Super Replicas anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 and never received a car. Many of the comments on Williams' blog posts accuse Sinclair and Super Replicas of being thieves. I emailed and called several people I found online who claimed to have been scammed by Super Replicas, but none responded back. The office that wasn't there.
So basically,
exactly-
they're embarrassed that they fell for it.
Yeah, pretty much. They've tried to get their money back, and a scam artist always disappears and runs away with the money, as we'll find out with his whole working in the U.S. thing in a little bit.
Monorail. I've got a monorail, guys.
Monorail.
I've sold monorails to Ogdenville, Brockway, and North Haverbrook, and by gummit, put them on the map.
Is there a chance the track could bend?
Not on your life, my Hindu friend.
Beautiful.
I call the big one Bitey.
No, Krusty. The world needs laughter.
Still to this day, my favorite quote from The Simpsons to this day is, the goggles, they do nothing.
The goggles, they do nothing.
Which one is that?
The one...
You are shooting the movie?
Yeah, the
Radio
radio
Man?
Oh, yeah. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking of the Omnigogs when the guy when they go to the state fair and the guy's selling the Omnigog system so that you can take the rubber band off of your morning newspaper without shooting your eye out. And Lenny turns around with a bandage over his eye and he goes, "A little late for Lenny."
Oh, and MC Toon does have a point. People that get scammed are often embarrassed and know they can't get their money back, so they're unwilling to take action. Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme with people who get scammed. They get so embarrassed that they just forget it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and welcome
Just
MC
write it
Toon to the
off.
channel.
Like, I've just learned my lesson not to give some random douchebag in Panama $20,000.
Well, that's the thing. You don't give people on the internet your information, Quitties.
Yeah.
That's just...
Yeah.
Anytime someone asks for your address, your credit card information, etc., don't give it to them.
But I saw this meme that said that my fun Frozen name, Disney Frozen name, was my mom's credit card, and my last name was her date of birth.
Here, I will
her expiration date. Yeah.
I will show something I
Or
posted in...
It didn't work. It
me-
didn't work,
I'm
Quiddy. Impressed. You didn't give me the right numbers.
Let me find it. I posted a meme here the other day.
Damn it, guys. You gotta be careful. There's only so many of these things Timothy Hutton can take care of in a year.
Where did it go? Shit, where did it go? Well, basically, the meme went...
Cool story, bro.
I can't remember. My mind's Swiss cheese right now.
All right.
Awesome.
Let's
So
keep
it was
going
a
until
meme,
you find it.
and it did something. Awesome.
God.
Great story.
No, it's a list of things you shouldn't give people on the internet, saying, these little Facebook quizzes.
Herpes. You shouldn't give people on the internet
The
herpes.
little quote-unquote Facebook quiz where it asks for, like, your mother's name, your first animal's name, but your first pet's name, rather, and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Herpes. Okay.
that's just giving people, your security questions.
Yeah. It's like if someone asked me what my porn star name was, and I said it was Lucky Edgewood.
Never
Which is
give...
actually a pretty awesome porn star name. I have to be proud of that.
Or my
Actually, Quiddy, your dopey whore is your first name and your last name because you are a dopey whore. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's not my childhood pet and the street that I grew up on.
Oh, okay.
Neither is Lucky Edgewood, but that was my pet's name and the street that I lived on at the time I first saw that, so I stuck with that.
Nice.
Here it goes.
Wow, it's like my first pet's name in the street I lived on. Like, I think we're gonna have to go with Spot County Road 39.
Like,
I don't know.
Shame.
Log Barn Road is a pretty good one.
This is the meme I was talking about. First job title, favorite food, favorite color, etc. Stop giving people your personal information to guess your passwords and security questions. Because
Yeah.
First job title, favorite food, favorite color, first name, pet's name, first child's name. All these are security answer questions. Just like on the show Leverage, I loved one scene in it where they just kept on asking this guy, like, they just kept on bleeding it into the conversation just to get his security questions. Like, what's
Yeah,
your
well, they
mother's
did that in
name?
that movie, Now You See Me, where they conned Michael Caine. Spoiler alert, by the way. They conned Michael Caine, and one of them pretended to be a mentalist that was trying to guess Michael Caine's past, and he was like, "Oh, and I bet you were this buff guy, and your dad took care of you, and you had this bulldog named whatever." And he was like, "No, actually, my mom took care of me." And he said her name, and then he was like, "I was a little prissy boy, and I had a poodle named whatever." And so they were able to guess his security questions from that and get into his bank account and steal his money.
So all you have to do is go to the website, and it'll automatically have whatever security questions they ask, and then all you have to do is get them to reveal that information, and then you can easily have access to anyone's bank account.
Yeah.
As long as you can figure out their username, at least.
Yeah. Anywho,
Sorry.
back to back to this clusterfuck of this
article.
this
No.
article that I'm sure Danny's not a fan of.
Yeah.
The office that wasn't there. Who exactly are the people behind Super Replicas? That's quite hard to say. Their video features various people, but names are almost never used. One of the most prominent is a tall, bald, muscular Hispanic man referred to as Reader Sanchez. Sanchez is called the CEO of Super Replicas in some videos, and he's the one who was
Totally
getting
legitimate name.
yeah. And he's the one who was filmed getting an autograph from Chip Foose when the hot rod builder came to Panama. A video later used to claim that Foose and Super Replicas were business partners. Other videos feature an American named Dave and a Brit named Mike, but their full names are never used.
No comment.
Yeah. The more recent Top Gear videos feature an older man with an American accent who stands in front of their building in Panama.
Dave's not
and
here,
then
man.
there is Tony Sinclair, who is often taken to the comment sections of various blogs to defend his products, sometimes with ranting, raving remarks that delve into Mormon theology.
Yeah, none of which is true.
To get their side of the story, I called the office of Top Gear in New York City. According to their website, they're headquartered at the Carnegie Hall Tower at 152 West 57th Street.
Because we could spend the whole stream debunking his Mormon bullshit.
Yeah.
But I could easily do that myself, but we won't. We did that earlier, so.
Well, you'll find at the end of this article, there's this little kernel of I asked him for comment, and then he went into this that had me rolling when I read it. I spoke with an Australian who identified himself as Ken Scott. Scott insisted that they're legitimate. He said they're finishing up a Maybach Accelero replica that will be done in 2 weeks. They make about 300 cars a year, he said. He promised me that Top Gear and Super Replicas are in fact separate companies, with the former being a seller of replicas made in Panama, Mexico, and China, and the latter being a kind of public relations company that promotes the cars. I find that odd, considering how the two names are used interchangeably on the various YouTube videos, and because Super Replica's site links to Top Gear's. Scott said their cars are around $20,000 to turn a Toyota MR2 into an Aventador replica, complete with a Toyota V6 engine and a 3-year Toyota-backed warranty. Quote, if you tell us you want a BMW 760Li twin-turbo V12, we can do that for $38,000, he said. He insisted that there are literally hundreds of possible cars a Super Replica's buyer can choose from, and they feature BMW V12s, the LS7, which is the Corvette engine, Mercedes-Benz and Audi R8 engines. For the Veyron, they can make an actual W16 engine with 4 turbos using reassembled Bentley W12 engines. Quote, it comes pretty close to an actual Veyron, Scott said.
Right.
Most of the cars are way overpriced. You're just paying for the badge. When I asked him about how they can supposedly make these replicas so cheaply, he said it's because the cars are built in Mexico and Panama, where they pay laborers $6 a day. He claims they also get the parts direct from the manufacturers. What about all the online naysayers who claim Super Replicas is a scam? Quote, jealous competitors financing these trolls, Scott told me. There's a price war going on. Still unconvinced, we sent a reporter to stop by their offices on Monday morning to check things out. To absolutely no one's surprise who is watching this right now, there is no Top Gear at that address. We found nothing.
Oh gosh.
What?
I would never know.
A security guard said people have come looking for the company before, but there is no one there who fits the description of the company. I'm
Gasp.
not surprised
Gasp.
by that, since I could find no business registration for either of those names with the New York Secretary of State's office. If that's out there somewhere, I would love to see it.
Yeah, I am shocked. I am absolutely shocked. Well, not that much, but
Shocked Pikachu faces everywhere.
Yeah.
Thud. Oh my god, this woman has fainted from over gasping.
A name you can trust.
I doubt that.
To defraud you.
To defraud you, yes.
Yeah, to defraud you, that name would be Danny Seppings.
Yeah.
But the Super
Or Tony
Replicas
Sinclair.
websites aren't even the most ridiculous part of this story. Not by a long shot. For that, you have to go to the claims they make in their scores of poorly shot, laughably edited online videos. And again, I really wish, and if MC Toon's still in chat, I don't know if you looked for these videos. I looked for them. I couldn't find them. Because I
couldn't find them
seriously
either.
want to see these things.
Yeah, I do. I really want to see these, but I could never find any of them. I did find some. We'll go over that in a minute because we do have some videos to watch.
Yeah. If you want to copy the Super Replica's way of doing things, here is what to do in 3 steps. First, you take images and footage from TV shows like Top Gear, or even film yourselves with famous people. Second, you twist things around in the editing process to make it seem like those people are endorsing you, or even making cars for you. And third, you attempt to use these videos to sell cars. One of the best examples is their video of their supposed Bugatti Veyron replica. They film what appears to be an actual Bugatti. Where they got it is anyone's guess. Advertise it as a replica that costs $49,000. Say that Tanner Faust guarantees you will feel the performance and handling equal to the original Bugatti Veyron. Many of them include actual clips from Top Gear, both the British and American versions. They like to have their employees stand next to or sit in what seem to be actual Ferraris and Lamborghinis, which are then passed off as replicas in their videos. The reason these cars look so good is because they're likely the real deal.
Yeah.
About the only actual finished car they ever showcase is a silver Lamborghini Reventon Roadster replica.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's not a bad piece of metalwork, but as far as replicas go, it's a terrible one. Clearly not built to scale and never shown hitting the speeds that Super Replicas promises. Notice they never show the inside of it. You can see more photos of it on one of their Flickr pages. Don't expect them to show any of the Bugattis and Batmobiles they promise. Their Flickr shows pictures of Ferrari Enzo and F430 replicas being built, but not the finished product. The rest
Never
appear to be
finished
real,
products.
actual supercars, not replicas. Then, there's the video where they take an interview with Steven Spielberg and cut in midway with another voice to make it sound like the Jurassic Park director is incredibly impressed with their selection. Yes, Steven Spielberg, arguably the most successful director in modern cinema, and he's a huge fan of $20,000 Ferrari knockoffs made in Panama.
Yeah.
Because Steven would
sure.
definitely buy the replica and not the real thing.
Not the real thing, yeah.
Are we sure? Are we sure it's Steven Spielberg and not Stefan Spielbergo?
Senor Spielbergo! Well, it's like any fake interview ever where they just take a real interview with someone and then cut in with their own questions or whatever. But I'm sure it was really shittily edited because it's Danny doing it.
God, I was just watching a video with folding ideas talking about this video where these geocentrists tricked a whole bunch of physicists into giving them interviews. It's just like this shit.
Yeah. Or the interview when Homer Simpson was accused of touching the babysitter. And every couple of words, the clock behind him jumps 15 or 20 minutes.
Sweet Ken.
I just wanted to grab that sweet, sweet can. The voice that cuts into that video is that of drag racer Jim Jet Nielsen. I sent an email to his website to ask how he's involved with them, but I have yet to hear back. Comments on his YouTube videos have said that Super Replicas is a sponsor on his drag car. Another good one is the video where they claim rapper 50 Cents
Oh God.
came to Panama. Not 50 Cent. 50
No.
Cents. Came to Panama to visit Super Replicas. And that they sell their cars to, quote, famous musicians and athletes.
This
Because
is
these people
cringe.
apparently can't afford, the
Okay,
real thing.
Like
I have-
50
I have-
cents and Aesop Rick.
I have to say something. They really should hire people like me or Vashanti to what's the word? Proofread these things, because our ADHD is such that when we see glaring errors like that, we automatically, oh, hey, you really need to fix that, dude. You really need to fix that.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
a good copy editor, but I don't have ADHD. So
Oh, well, my ADHD is such that I see something like that, my mind just snaps and just stays on that error for way too fucking long.
But the best part of the 50 Cents video closes with a truly terrible rap video of their own, featuring a cameo from Frida Sanchez.
Oh, God.
And I
really
want to see this video so bad.
Want to see that.
Ew.
And it's another one that I could not find.
Further on that, all I see is the sick, and all I can think of is a Slipknot video. All right, let's go.
And then there's the video where they appear to take credit for a drifting competition that took place in Panama and heavily imply that Super Replica's cars were used in the competition. Seem unlikely? Don't be discouraged. Just check out the title of the video on YouTube. Quote, Super Replicas, a name you can trust. Super Replicas, most trusted car builders in the world. Of course, Super Replicas had nothing to do with that event. It was actually the Extreme Wheels and Drift competition with several Formula D drivers held at the Figali Convention Center in Panama City in March 2009. Speed hunters attended the event, and you can see photos of it on their site. There's a shocking lack of involvement from Super Replicas or their cars when you do a little research into that event. In particular, their videos seem to prey specifically on non-Americans or non-native English speakers. That sounds really familiar. People who may not be as quick to pick up on the questionable aspects of what they're doing. That would certainly be consistent with the global nature of the complaints that Don Ray Williams, I thought his name was something else, received after he blogged about them. If you haven't figured it out by now, Top Gear, the real Top Gear, is not an affiliate of Super Replicas, nor did they allow the company to use their name and logo.
You don't say.
Really?
Really? I am shocked. I am absolutely aghast.
Tanner Faust is not
Stricken you, then.
CEO of Top Gear Carbon Copies Group, as they claim on their website. He is not involved with the business in any way, despite what Representative Ken Scott told me on the phone. Quote, Tanner works at Top Gear, Scott said. Tanner is one of the major shareholders in our company. Not so, says BBC spokeswoman Christine Shaw. She told me this in an email. Quote, this company and its associated website have nothing to do with the Top Gear motoring brand or Top Gear television shows airing on BBC America and History. We are investigating their unauthorized use of Top Gear name and logo, as well as presenter Tanner Faust image. We take the protection of our brands and talent very seriously.
Okay, that's another thing. That's copyright fraud. So he's
Yeah.
not only guilty of the superstar replica thing bullshit. He's also guilty of copyright fraud
And trademark infringement.
and trademark infringement.
Yeah,
Yes, that too.
trademark
That's the
infringement.
trademark. Yeah.
That not copyright fraud. Trademark. That's right. Trademark, not copyright. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, trademark infringement as well as the ripping off people of their money and every other fraud he's committed so far.
I mean, this to me is like one of those movies where you've got the crime ring, but it's just a bunch of bumbling idiots trying to pull off a crime,
Yeah.
and
Oh, the
somehow
Hawkeye
they
series.
pull it off despite every one of them screwing everything up about their plot.
Yeah.
They still manage to walk away with millions of dollars. Like, that is
Yeah.
literally what we're reading right now is a real life one of those movies.
Because he made away with what, around $207,000 from that was just okay.
That was his scam, saying he was going to get people jobs in the U.S.
I never understood. I've never heard of the job.
I've never seen any dollar amount as to how much people gave him for super replicas.
Well, I've never heard of a job that requires you to pay $200 up front just to get an interview.
Yeah.
I
mean, I had to pay. I had to pay to apply to college, but not
That's
to
college.
apply for a job.
That's college.
Wait, you guys
The
didn't have to pay
allegations-
$200 to get your job? Damn it, Joel.
Allegations are that some of that $270,000 found its way into a dodgy magistrate's pocket with that case that he was cleared from. But allegedly, okay, I'm stating that's we don't really know, but that's apparently they say it was a dodgy judge.
Mark Pfizer,
Not quite confirmed.
the reason there are ads is because this site will not let you look at it if you have ad blockers enabled.
Well, even I have the site open on my computer, and I have ad blocker on, and I'm still getting ads.
Yeah.
It's got the ads that override ad blocker.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, yeah.
ad block plus or whatever it's called, people can pay them to get their ads not blocked now.
That too.
So a lot of the ads just aren't being blocked by ad blocker.
Oh, I could do that. I just had an idea.
Time to switch.
So let's see. Super Replica's videos often reference his racing career, so perhaps they picked him for some kind of extra boost in credibility. We're still talking about Faust, I believe. But the shift towards Faust is a move away from an old target. Hot rod designer and overhauling star Chip Foose. They really love the weird F last names. About 2 years ago, Super Replicas began posting videos that heavily implied that they had entered into a business agreement with Foose, and many of their other videos purport to feature Foose's brand of paint. They use the theme song from Overhaulin', as well as pictures and video of Foose, and they also guarantee that their replicas are up to Foose's standards. Once again, not true. Foose has this disclaimer on his Facebook page and a similar one on his website. Again, myself, Chip Foose, and my company, Foose Design, are in no way affiliated with Super Replicas and never have been. If you go to their websites, you will likely find pictures of me and videos that have been poorly edited in order to fool people into thinking I have an affiliation with them. Most noticeable is a video in which Mr. Rither Sanchez claims that I came to Panama for a business meeting with Super Replicas and includes images of myself and Mr. Sanchez. All of these images were taken from an event in Panama I made an appearance at on behalf of my longtime sponsor, BASF Automotive Refinish Paints. Mr. Sanchez waited in the autograph lines that were open to the public just like everyone else. He shot video and edited it in an attempt to make it seem as though we are connected. Again, we are not. You will never find me promoting, endorsing, or otherwise advocating Super Replicas because I simply do not, and furthermore, would not. Seems pretty clear-cut to me there.
Yeah.
I emailed Foos's people for comment for this story, but I did not hear back from them. To make matters even stranger, Top Gear also posted a video featuring images of Foos's deceased sister, who suffers from progeria, and encouraged people to donate to the American Cancer Society. At least they're philanthropic, kind of.
The
Kind
fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
The fuck?
This dude is a real piece of shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
There goes a real sack of crap.
I mean, just to make it seem a little tiny bit more believable, here, go donate to this because this guy we're pretending to be affiliated with, his sister just died of cancer.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, this clusterfuck of an article. And the article itself is not a clusterfuck. It's just the contents of the article are a complete clusterfuck.
The anatomy of a clusterfuck.
It starts off bad and gets a lot worse from there.
It just gets progressively worse.
Like this
And
podcast.
now
I
we've
It's just
come
a
to
train
the
wreck.
epic conclusion.
It's just a train
like
wreck.
this. It's like this podcast I listen to, Black Box Down, where they go over airplane disasters over history. Just holy crap!
All right. The exciting conclusion we've all been waiting for. America is just one big lie.
Yes.
I called Ken Scott back on Monday night to discuss some of the things I had learned about Top Gear and Super Replicas. I had many questions for him. Like, why do they claim that Tanner Faust was a shareholder and CEO when the BBC said he wasn't? Why did they use Chip Foose in their videos? Why don't they have any pictures of their supposedly finished replica cars? Why couldn't we find their New York office? Who the fuck are Tony Sinclair and Reader Sanchez? And why are there so many people claiming online that they are frauds and ripoff artists? Scott insisted to me that Faust is indeed the CEO of the company and that the BBC doesn't know anything about his personal finances. And he told me that it was Chip Foose's agent who posted the disclaimer because said agent is, quote, jealous. The agent, however, is falsely representing Chip Foose when he denies the business meeting did occur in Panama. He told me in a follow-up email after our phone conversation. Scott also said that the Tesla battery they offer in their cars is a clone battery with identical lithium-ion packs like one would get in a Model S, only for far less money. He promised me that the naysayers are just trolls set up by competitors and actual car company whose business is threatened by super replicas.
Yes, because you always blame the trolls. I learned that
Yeah.
from Amy. I learned that from Amy's Baking Company.
Yeah. They just hate what we're doing here. That's all.
Yeah, they just hate us.
They're trying to censor us.
Unrelated, I actually do have to go right now, so I will catch up with you guys later. Yeah, I know it sucks, but I gotta go.
All right, bye, Vish.
Bye, Vish.
All right, bye,
Take
y'all.
it easy, Vish.
I'll you guys if you quit if you pretty much as in is
I understood one word of what you just said, and that was quitties.
Who left the 2600 on?
Your internet has been just terrible the last few weeks.
Yes, it has.
But I tried to understand everything you said, but I got one word, and that was quitties.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it sounded like someone was playing Yar's Revenge there for a second.
It's so funny because when you just say a couple of words or respond to something, you don't. But when you're actually trying to say something important, you robot like crazy.
Yeah. You try to say something, that actually matters, and then we can't understand a single thing you say, but yet you say some random bullshit. It's like you get every single word across. It's like infuriating.
Stupid Aussie internet.
Stupid Aussie internet.
Okay. He promised me that the naysayers are just trolls set up. Let's see. I read that already.
He said we
Threatened
couldn't
by
find.
super replicas. He said we couldn't find their office because they meet with people by appointment only and happen to be booked solid through May. That
right.
that doesn't really follow though. Like the office should be there whether you meet people by appointment or walk in.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's like
And
it's
then-
magic. It's like the little gift shop from the beginning of
It
Hellraiser.
only appears if you're in their appointment book.
Yeah.
You have to go to platform 9 3/4 to get there.
You got the appointment. There's a little man goes, "What is your pleasure, sir?"
Yeah. I want some human horn. And
Not
he
the
insisted
upper
that
one, the lower one. The lower human.
Yeah, the lower horn. I think I'll have Fry's lower horn jerked.
It's used to it.
I was waiting for someone to do that. And he insisted that Tony Sinclair and Reader Sanchez have nothing to do with Top Gear, which he said is the New York business he works for. Quote, I can't tell you who he is or what he is, Scott said. As for the strange videos, Scott said in his email that Super Replica's videos are marketing advertising productions that are admittedly unprofessional, but succeed in drawing people's attention, not unlike car commercials seen on TV. I told Scott I had a hard time believing any of this, and that the photos they show online appear to be those of actual supercars, not replicas. His response, this is my favorite part. His response was a lengthy diatribe on a variety of topics, including how the Bush administration committed war crimes after September 11th, how the FBI and CIA keep international businesses from growing, how, quote, most Americans know that John F. Kennedy wasn't really killed by a lone gunman, and how I, as a journalist, should be exposing the American politicians who he said authorized soldiers to murder babies instead of going after small businesses like Super Replicas and Top Gear.
Did you just do a gish gallop of Martin Bailey's?
Yes, he did. He absolutely did.
Jesus,
And-
it's like me on a conversation when my ADD's acting up. Holy fuck.
That's how you know that you're talking to a total loony conspiracy theorist. When you get them into a corner and then they just go off gish gallop about the most insane bullshit they can think of at that moment.
Oh, that or someone with severe ADD. But yeah, you got the point taken.
America is just one big lie, Scott said. If you really believe that bin Laden blew up the Twin Towers, then you're not a very good journalist. It's guys like you that help them crush the little fish. The little fish, he said, is Super Replicas and Top Gear, which he claims are honest businesses that help working people afford the cars of their dreams. And the people who say Super Replicas took their money, just trolls, that's all.
Well, they got half of that right. Top Gear is an honest business.
Yeah.
Top Gear is, but Super Replica's not so much.
I told him I'm not convinced, and I asked him to send me photos of the cars in production and what they looked like when they were completed. If Super Replicas is the real deal, then send me something to prove it, I said. He sent me pictures of 2 Lamborghinis, including an LP 674 SV and a green Gallardo Spider. Reader Sanchez stands next to both of them, and Scott said they're an example of what finished Super Replicas product looks like. If they are in fact replicas and not actual Lamborghinis, then they are the finest replicas the world has ever seen. Like nearly every other aspect of their business, I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah.
And that is the Super Replicas scam.
Yeah.
I was going to say about Top Gun, I wouldn't call them the most honest business either. I've seen what happened to the first 3 Stigs.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
And Mark
Yeah.
Beiser, just so you know, the first time I read that, I was laughing so hard I may have peed just a little bit. Like when it got to that point, because I thought up to that point that the Scott guy was someone completely different than Danny, but then that happened, and I was like, nope, that's Danny.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple videos to go over before the end of the stream because that took us over an hour to get through.
Yeah, it was a pretty long article, but it was
But
definitely worth it.
it was very informative. I will say that it's very informative and it was very succinctly put. It's perfectly put, actually.
I only
Oh.
lost 30% of my brain cells through it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good exchange. Good exchange
And-
rate.
I am going to send you a picture whenever I find it.
Well, this video is only a minute
Of
long,
that-
so yeah.
Fake supercar that I saw that time.
Okay.
There it is.
Unfull screen that. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Waiting. Well, while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and watch this. Let's go ahead and watch this little 1-minute video while we're waiting.
There is a supercar scammer by the name of Daniel John Seppings, and he's been ripping people off for 10 years, and he's been hiding out in Panama, getting away scot-free. Here's how the scam works. He's got a website, he's got some YouTube channels. You go on the website and you order this car and you give him a big deposit, and what do you get? Nothing. I made a video on him, and 250,000 of you watched that video and reported his YouTube channels, and a couple days ago, his main channel got terminated. This scam has been going on for a long time, most recently under Supercar Replicas,
Yep.
and unfortunately he's still got one more channel up called Lamborghini Ferrari. If you want to go ahead and report that, that's up to you. The support on the channel has been absolutely mind-blowing, and I want you to leave a comment down below. Tell me what kind of topics you want me to cover. When I post
Yeah, that was it. It's just him advertising his videos. It's Rev Match TV. They're pretty
Yeah.
medium-sized YouTuber.
You have the one where the guy ordered the supercar replica, and what he got was like a knockoff smart car.
I don't know if we have that one or not, but we have another video
I
here.
remember that. Check the green room. I posted that.
There we go.
I thought I had a better picture of it. That one's kind of dark, but we were like in between 70-story buildings on Michigan Avenue in Chicago at the time.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's a real replica, unlike Danny's fake replicas of a Ferrari. I think they call that one like it's a kit Ferrari.
Yeah, they're called kit cars.
Yeah, because you just buy, the outside trimmings and stick it on the body of whatever car.
Yeah.
But I knew it sounded really weird when it drove by. But if you zoom in on him, like he's not wearing a shirt and he looks like the lead singer of Whitesnake.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why I
Dear
thought like
Lord.
this guy was probably some crotch rocker
Yeah.
back in the 80s, and the license plate said Tony Tag. So when I got home, I looked up Tony Tag, and his name's like Tony Taglia or something. And people were talking about like where he bought his car and all this other stuff. And yeah, he just cruises and picks up other crotch rock chicks.
All the little chicks with the Cleveland Rocks. Cleveland. Sorry.
There was an episode where Drew Carey scored the Batmobile, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Well,
And then they
anyway.
took it away because he had sex in it.
Dude.
Well, this one,
Worth it.
this video is called "World's Most Powerful Supercar Replica is a Scam." This is from the same one, Real Match TV, and yeah, Real Match TV is actually a pretty good. I've been watching them for a little bit since we got into this topic, and I gotta say they do cover this pretty well.
We know the developers.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Quitties, what were you about to say?
Oh, nothing.
What were you about to say, Dave? Then.
No, it can wait till after. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play this. I might speed it up, so let me get into that. Speed it up to 1.5.
16 is a pretty expensive car, right? I emailed him and it turns out it's $1.5 million just to get in the door. That's more than my weekly allowance. What if I told you you could get into that car for a whole lot less? Lower than a Porsche 918, lower than a Lamborghini Huracan, lower than a Toyota 86? That's too low. You can't go that low. I'm Eric, and this is Red Match TV. And a couple weeks ago, I made a video about the Devel 16, and I basically called them out for their whole PR strategy being shadier than a palm tree. In that last video, some of you linked me to another video where apparently we can buy this car for $23,000. That's an incredible deal, and I want to do it together with you today. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you're new here. Let's go buy this car, because I'm not at all skeptical.
Today we'll be presenting the Devil 16 replica. Today we'll be delivering this vehicle to a very happy camper client, and it's going for $23,000.
This footage looks familiar. Isn't that Supercar Blondie again from the Instagram video that I showed in my last video? And that's not Supercar Blondie talking. That's some dude with an Australian accent, more real than mine. And he's saying, it's a replica? A replica for $23,000. Oh, if it's a replica, then maybe you can get it for $23,000, and it's got an LS7 engine. Well, let's go on to the Chevy website and let's find out what a Chevy LS crate motor costs. Let's do a little bit of math here. I've got a car which costs $23,000.
Yeah, he does all the work for us by actually computing every single cost of all the pieces of the car. So at least he does that for us, and
With a terrible Aussie accent too, he gets no points for that one. That was fucking horrible.
Even I have a better Aussie accent than that, and mine sucks.
I don't have an Aussie accent, and I would never try to have one. Try to fake
Good
one.
day, mate. You want to throw another shrimp on the barbie?
Oh God, no, please, no. I want to have to. I'll have to put you in the no cocaine room.
Perhaps
I see you
French
play
no more your
Happy
forte.
Spoonie
My
before.
attempt at a really bad Aussie accent.
The
by the way.
anti-cocaine room. We'll have to put you in the
Try
anti-cocaine room.
French. If you could try French, Quiddies, I think we'll all benefit. That's your language.
Sacre bleu.
Vous voulez coucher avec moi ce soir?
Mad.
Tabernacle.
That's the only French I know is vous voulez coucher avec moi ce soir?
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Ce soir. There we go. Gitchy, ya ya ta ta.
I do know like ferme la bouche, which means
Moco
shut the fuck up.
chocolata ya ya.
So ferme la bouche and play the video.
I need to invest $15,000, probably plus some shipping to get this LS7 engine over. So now I'm left with about $8,000 to create this fake supercar. Math, YouTube, not the best combination, but let's work through this together. $23,000 for the car, minus $15,000 for the LS7 engine. That leaves me with $8,000. With that remaining money, I need to still get an interior. I need to get electronics. I need to get a transmission of some sort. I need wheels and tires. I need the rest of the drivetrain. And I need the body. If someone can do that for $8,000, that is incredible value. Let's see how he does it. I decided to email them and figure out what the deal is. So I got this back. Hello, how are you today? You mentioned you're interested in our replica cars. Please see our catalog, Mercedes AMG USA. Okay, Mercedes AMG USA. That's the name of the website. I think Mercedes might have a little bit of a copyright issue with this, but let's go along with it. So basically he says you need to select the kind of car that you want, pick the color, pick the transmission, and then we're just going to send you the purchase documents. And I was thinking, I'm a pretty smart consumer. What if this masterpiece of a car breaks down? Where can I get it serviced? So I asked him, and he said, we provide a 3-year warranty. We send you to the local dealership according to the type of engine. For example, if you buy a car with a Toyota Camry engine, we will send you to the local Toyota dealership near your home. I was thinking of calling up Toyota to verify this, but that kind of seemed like not the best use of my time. I went to the Mercedes AMG USA website, and I traced the...
I love that he's like, I'm not even going to waste my time doing that.
Yeah, I know that's bullshit.
registration, and the domain is registered to a company in Panama. This is the website that was linked to me in the email. So right here, let's click on this Bugatti replica, the Chiron, I don't know if I can pronounce it properly, but we can see that it only costs $20,000 and it's built in a space frame. $20,000? That's incredible. Oh, but you know the old saying, if it's too good to be true, let's see if there's a payment plan. Ooh, we're in luck. There's a payment plan. Oh man, I am so ready for this. I wonder where this car is built. Let's see if we can find out where the factory is. Our cars are assembled in Mexico. The address of our car manufacturing company is something I can't pronounce. Let's take a look at Google Street View. Oh, wait a minute. This is where the supercars are manufactured? We know there's car manufacturing in Mexico, but this place? Okay, the cars are not in Mexico, that's easy, but you know what's not easy is tracing this guy down. Let's try Google. World's worst scammer. Daniel John Sepping. When I was researching this video, this is the point where I went down the rabbit hole. And if you want to chat with me about this or anything else, just hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, and I promise I'll respond to all of your messages. Let's play a game. It's called Let's Guess How Many Jalopnik stories there are on Supercar Scammer. More than the fingers I have or less? If you guess less,
more.
You're wrong. On Jalopnik alone, there are no less than 11 stories about this guy. He is essentially a scam.
Yeah, Jalopnik does. That is a good source of information for Daniel Seppings.
That's the source of the article that we read just
earlier.
A few minutes ago.
Yeah, that was the source.
That's one of the 11 articles on Jalopnik on Danny Seppings.
Yeah, Jalopnik really covered him very well.
A virus that mutates and changes and finds clever and more devious ways to separate you from your money. He's gone under a whole bunch of different names. The most notable was Supercar Replicas, but he's also gone under AMG Custom Perfection, which he's at now. Who knows what it's going to be next week? I found a bunch of YouTube channels from this guy. This one has 7.5 million views, and he is taking your money on a joyride into his pocket where he's living in Panama, getting away absolutely scot-free since 2008. Here's where the story gets weirder and unfortunately quite a bit darker. Daniel John Seppings is originally from Australia, and he moved to Utah, and he got deported from the US. He then founded some sort of religious extremist cult, and he ended up in Honduras, of all places, where he was accused of raping a 13-year-old girl and a 15-year-old girl. He stood trial, and he was somehow acquitted. Fortunately, there is something that you can do about this. I want all of you to go to the card up here, go to his channel, and report him. I'm going to list the steps. There's a video in it. If you're on mobile, you click on the little ellipses in the corner, go to report, and then click scam. If you're on desktop,
that would explain why all the videos have been taken down.
Yeah, pretty much everything of his has been reported, and his channels have all been taken down.
Yeah.
But he always makes a new one.
That's the thing.
And, you know, now he's got his Flurf channel that only has Flurf content.
Yeah, why did
well,
he want
Flurf content and stupid Mormon bitching.
Yeah, he does tend to bitch about the Mormon church a lot, which kind of pisses me off.
Well, he also threatened to bomb some Mormon churches in Missouri at one point, which was kind of interesting, and is one of the main reasons he's not ever going back to the U.S. because, you know,
bomb threats
he
are
would
taken
spend a lot
seriously.
of time in jail if he did.
Bomb threats are taken quite seriously. Yeah, but the whole Mormon thing, it kind of pisses me off because, again, I'm an ex-Mormon, and I actually know a bunch of stuff about the Mormon church, and every single thing he has said about the Mormon church is bullshit, and whenever I talk about the Mormon church, I talk about facts. I don't go into the conspiracy theory bullshit, because conspiracy theory bullshit is indeed bullshit. I would rather talk about the actual stuff they do.
Yeah.
Instead of making up bullshit.
They do a lot of stupid shit too.
Yeah.
But I had a friend growing up that was a Mormon. They built a Mormon church near where we lived, and their church had this really cool youth group. My church at the time, our youth group didn't do jack shit. Like, we went on 2 trips a year and did a car wash, and that was pretty much it. But his youth group, like every week they got together, they were doing something cool. They were going and playing racquetball at the Civic Club, or this Mormon church, actually their sanctuary converted into a basketball court. So we would play basketball, or we would have movie night or something like that. So I would go to his youth group with him. And everyone there was actually really cool. I truly enjoyed going there. The little bit of preaching that they did at the time, I was a Christian, and it was pretty much the exact same thing as what we were taught in my church. I was a Methodist. what we were taught in my church. They didn't go into the weird Mormon beliefs, but I remember my friend telling me at one point, he was like, so you may hear some stuff about my religion, like we have this other book, but don't believe what you hear about it. And that's all he ever told me, and I just didn't give a shit.
The Mormons are actually very, very kind people. They're
Yeah.
to the point where it's almost sickening. They're the kindest people I have never met a rude Mormon. I will say that. I have never met a rude Mormon.
You know, that the like year or so that I would go to his Wednesday night youth group meetings, we had a lot of fun. We went on camping trips on the weekends. We, you know, like I said, we played different sports and stuff on Wednesday nights, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Hell, we did
but it didn't
paintball
make
one
me a
time.
Mormon.
We did paintball a couple times.
Yeah.
We rented out a paintball thing and had all the youth just running around with little paintball guns, firing each other, and laser tag as well. We did laser tag too at ours. Mormon church. And I'll admit, most of the fun as a kid I had was in the Mormon church. Because we had a lot of fun back then. But yeah, a lot of the bullshit he makes up about the Mormons is utter bullshit. And I wished I could have got on MC Tunes that night when he was covering Daniel Seppings to, you know, kind of debunk a bunch of his Mormon bullshit beliefs, but yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that one schizophrenic lady obsessed with Brent Spiner and the Jesuits.
Gail Cord-Schuler.
Schuler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've covered her. I love covering Gail Cord-Schuler. She's one of my favorites.
We might do her again in the
She's
future.
a babe. She's a babe. Leave her alone. She's okay. Gail,
I remember
Gail is a performer. She's not real in any way, but it's fucking hilarious because it's brilliant. Like some of the shit she comes up with.
Remember the the semen tsunami? You remember that?
Oh yeah, that's not the worst. The worst was the first video of hers I ever saw, which was the Chinese government stealing everyone's penises and having to take her spaceship to China to get them back.
Or when Michelle Obama was mailing her pubic hair.
No, she was
mailing her pubic hair to Michelle Obama.
She
That's what it was.
did a video of her shaving her pubes and mailing them to Melania Trump.
It was Melania, sorry, not Michelle. It was Melania, yeah. I'm like,
that's really sad. She got your penises back. Show some gratitude.
Yeah, she's just really good at faking it because I remember seeing a couple of old websites of her that were
she's really good at faking it.
Very reminiscent of automatic writing.
No, she is very good at faking it. She is an actress after all. That's all it is. I think she's actually admitted to it a couple times that what she says she doesn't actually believe. She's just doing it for the lulz.
Yeah. Right. I mean, she makes a living off of it.
Yeah.
Like she has a lot of Patreons and channel members and stuff like that. Like she makes good money off of it.
Yeah, and it's all bullshit and it's hilarious.
Your crazy sci-fi podcast. Okay.
So we only got like a minute left on this, so let's go ahead.
Go to About, click Report, and then flag him there. Also, go to Twitter and report him to Trusted Flagger. Let's get this guy off YouTube. It's clearly a violation of the terms of service. We're a community of automotive enthusiasts, and together we can make a dent in this guy's income. So when you're done reporting him, just come back here, leave a comment, hit the like button, and if you want to help me out, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
So yeah, if you ever see any of David Seppings' video on YouTube, you know what to do. Go like, subscribe, and no, don't like and subscribe. Report it.
Yeah.
Okay, just a hint for people listening. To know that if you have a real Bugatti, there is a second ignition where you put the key into that turns the car onto performance mode. At that point, the sound of the engine becomes apocalyptic, and you will have at top speed about 12 minutes of tire life,
Yeah.
which is okay because your gas will only last 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But you'll be 5 states over by the time it runs out.
In layman's terms, we call that the warp drive.
Yeah, no, she's going straight from warp to plaid.
Ludicrous speed!
Ludicrous speed. We ain't found shit.
Oh.
She's going from suck to blow. Okay, can we get any more Star Pulse references in here?
I'm surrounded by assholes. Okay.
Well, that is the movie that proves the space vacuum.
Oh god, the space vacuum.
And the dome. Because they had to have the password to get in the dome to vacuum out everything with the giant space vacuum.
God damn it, I had to change the combination of my luggage after that.
Okay, so which one are we going to watch next? This one by... We've got 2 videos left and a couple articles. Do we want to
it's the same guy. It's the guy I was talking about, the blogger in Panama. And let's watch this one because the other one is on MC Toon's website. You guys can go there and watch it.
Yeah. Well, this one is a full conversation with Daniel John Seppings, owner of Super Replicas.
Hey guys, I'm getting sad internet. I'm going to have to jump out, so I'll just quickly shield the card game in about 17 or so 16 hours. I've got to bail. My net's getting really bad.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
All right, Booma. Take care.
Take care, man.
Easy.
Take care. Bye.
And then there were 3.
Yeah. Well, that's
and really,
the bank.
Really, it's only 3. Because Mallory just never says anything. She's probably too stoned to even talk at this point.
Either that or she's just furiously masturbating. We'll talk about that later.
Well, I'm furiously masturbating right now, but I can still talk. Oh, she says her mic is not working.
Also, fuck you.
Also, fuck you.
Yeah, she says that to me a lot.
She says that to us a lot. I mean, that's just like, that's her go-to response for everything. Fuck you. Like, how are you doing today? Fuck you. I heard you got snow today. Fuck you.
Oh, by the way, did you get any snow, Zoomy?
Yes, about an inch.
Oh, nice.
She said, P.S. Fuck you. See, exactly.
We got about 4 inches at my house, but then the sun came out today and it melted by like mid-afternoon.
Are we sure? Okay, is that a female 4 inches or a male 4 inches? Because a female 4 inches is approximately 1 foot. Wait, no. A female 4 inches.
No, that's the other way around.
Probably
a female 4 inches is 4 inches. A male 4 inches is a foot.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a female 4 inches.
Oh, okay. But no, we got literally about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of snow down here, but it melted, so
yeah, it's really weird because normally my dad, who's like 100 kilometers north of me, he normally gets way more snow than I do, and we got like 4 inches here, and he got maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, something like that. And then my sister, who's like a couple of hours northeast of me, she got like 6 inches.
Oh, damn.
So it just kind of bypassed my dad this time instead of dumped on him.
Yeah. Well, let's continue with this because we've been going about 2 hours now, so we need to.
We're getting snow right now in Chicagoland. So.
Well, when are you not getting snow in Chicagoland?
The 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
There are only 2 seasons in Chicago. They're called winter and road construction.
Yeah, the corrupt government of Chicago is actually a cabal of half-mad weather wizards.
You know what I love about Chicago, though? If Chicago government was not corrupt, that city would fucking crumble.
Yeah.
It's the corruption that keeps that city going. Like the entire city is perched on a level of corruption that it would just
Corruption,
collapse
deep
on.
dish, and old style.
Yeah, deep dish.
Yeah.
Definitely deep dish, yeah.
Fuck.
And an occasional
And
bite
then
of
the weird-
Italian.
I just
Well,
heard Mallory say fuck and then leave.
Yeah. She's just like, fuck. So,
So I don't know what's going on with Mallory, but fuck.
fuck you.
And then there's that weird Chicago pizza and oven grinder style, which is like a pizza pot pie, but we don't talk about that very much.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, Gino's is the best. Don't try the rest.
No, Gino's is not the best.
Gino's is the best.
Gino's isn't anywhere near the best.
Are you going to go back into your
I would
bullshit
say-
New York pizza?
No. I would say in Chicago, Lou Malnati's is probably the best. Followed by Connie's on Archer, followed by Giordano's, and then Gino's East.
Giordano's is pretty good. I've only had Giordano's and Gino's, and I thought Gino's was better, but
It's it would whichever one you prefer between Giordano's and Gino's, but Connie's on Archer is definitely better than both of those, and Lou Malnati's is decidedly better than Connie's.
And if you're
It all depends on if you like that cornmeal crust.
And if you're paying attention to the chat, Mallory didn't even know that came out when she said fuck. She's like, I didn't know that would come out.
I kind of figured that.
Mallory for president.
I kind of
Mallory
figured
for
she was
president
trying to
2024.
talk. And sorry, Facty, I missed your duel. I kind of figured she was trying to talk and it didn't work. And she said fuck and it worked. But she left before she knew.
God. Anyway.
And that was the most Mallory exit ever.
Yes, it was. She's like, fuck. Just leave.
That's why we keep Mallory around.
Yeah,
just
it's
for
pure
little
comedy.
tidbits like that.
It's just pure comedy gold. Anyway, let's finish this because we have been going for 2 hours now.
All right.
Huh? Do like I said.
I do have it sped up to 1.5, so...
Bad luck today. Huh? Bad luck for Super Replicas today.
Okay, pause for just a second. I just really, really, really want to punch the fuck out of Danny.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing a Carolina Panthers shirt, and I'm a Carolina Panthers fan.
Oh.
So, yeah, I want to beat the shit out of this guy for wearing that shirt.
Wow, fuck up.
Do
Quickie.
not desecrate my team like that, ever, Danny. Okay, you can continue.
Well, Mallory, you can come back in the voice
Remember when I
chat.
rode my motorcycle down here, I got chased by about 100 dogs.
Yeah, they're unreal, yeah. Oh, they're so good.
I'm gonna try to fast forward through this because it's... Is this just...
Yeah,
staring
once
up
at the
his
Tuesday
belly?
market, we just shook hands.
Well, he,
Yeah, let's not watch this because this is just pointing at his belly the entire time, and I don't feel like watching Daniel's stomach for an entire video.
It's like a lava lamp.
No, it's not like a lava lamp. It's not like a lava lamp at all. It's... Lava lamps are actually entertaining to watch. That isn't. Yeah, let's watch this.
Hey guys, welcome to True Story Sunday. I'm going to sit here in the garage today and tell you this story because it's the craziest thing that ever happened to me. When I moved to Panama, I lived in a nice little neighborhood, and there was a guy from Australia who lived in that neighborhood. He introduced himself to me as John, but his real name is Daniel John Seppings, and he looks like this. And
Yep, that is the Australian CC.
That hair, though.
That hair, though, yeah.
He's a bad person.
Man, it feels
He's
good
a bad
to like
person.
finally speak and people could hear me. Oh my god!
Yeah, we can hear you now, Mallory.
Like
I was
right
trying-
at the end. Like you got.
I was trying to
dying
pretend
here.
that I didn't hear Mallory. Damn it!
Yeah.
You guys didn't play along.
Sorry.
What? What?
Sorry.
It would have been glorious to just have Mallory go off that we still couldn't hear her and then rage with the call again.
Can I just say that this guy looks like a cast member out of the Australian adaptation of My Name Is Earl?
He does, doesn't he?
But I didn't realize this at first. I thought he was
What? Sorry.
just a guy who had a business and he built replica cars. So I would see him. I would go over to his house once in a while, and he would come to my house once in a while, and we were sort of friends, I guess. But one day, the Mormon missionaries came over and they said, "Hey, this guy, he's a kind of a weird guy, and he has these weird websites, and he thinks that he's a prophet, and he tells people that Jesus has talked to him and all this stuff." And like a ton of bricks, it hit me that I knew this guy. This is where it gets crazy. This is a story about a guy who's been an asshole for so long and to so many different people that he's running out of places on planet Earth to go without running into someone that he has known.
Yeah, that is true. He's running out of places to grip now. Isn't he?
I mean, he tried to grift in the U.S. and it ended in him running away from the U.S. because the FBI was after him.
Yeah.
And he ended up in Panama and spent years grifting people with fake cars. And now apparently he's back in Australia and trying to grift people with the flat earth.
Yeah. As well as his fake Mormonism brand.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, this is a complicated story, please bear with me. When I was in high school, 1995 or 96 or something, I met this guy, but I didn't recognize him when I moved to Panama, and he lived 5 minutes away from my house.
Oh, God, 5 minutes away.
The place where I worked, he married a girl who was a coworker of mine. And not long after they were married, he started acting crazy, and she told us about it. He thinks he's a prophet. And so when the missionary said that, I was like, oh my word, it's got to be the same guy. An Australian guy who thinks he's a prophet. It's got to be the same guy. So I made some phone calls, and I called her and talked to her, and I asked what was his name, and she said, it's Daniel John Seppings. And so I went to work, I got on the internet, I found all of his old crazy websites, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's my neighbor. This guy who screwed over a friend of mine, really, messed up her life. He's my neighbor, and now he has this business where, I saw cars at his house, but I also knew that the cars that he advertised on his website were not the cars that he actually made. All he does is take video, Jaguar makes a commercial, and he downloads that video, and then he redoes the audio, and he uploads it, and he says, this is his car, and people give him money. That's how easy it is to steal from people, by the way. When I watch those videos, they're so transparent. It's so bogus, but somehow there's people out there that have money, that just transfer money to this guy's bank account in Panama, this guy who they've never met or seen, or some of you probably think that that the owner of Super Replicas is named Ritter Sanchez, but it's not. It's Daniel John Seppings, the religious fanatic Daniel John Seppings.
So he actually is the full owner of replica cars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is no co-owner. The quote unquote co-owner is Daniel John Seppings himself as well, because he just made up a fictitious entity. So it looks.
He does have a Panamanian guy or some sort of Hispanic guy that may or may not be the Sanchez guy that's with him in the undercover videos that this guy did. But as far as anyone can tell, it's really just
him.
Danny.
Yeah.
There was a third guy for a small time called Rusty Shackelford, but then another guy named Rusty Shackelford showed up and was really mad, and then just keep playing the video.
At least Rick Sanchez wasn't involved. Rick Sanchez would never be involved with something that stupid. He's too busy, going to other dimensions and shit. But anyway.
So at first I started out by wanting to, before I even realized that I knew who he was, I wanted to make a video that exposed Super Replicas for the scam that it was. But then once I found out that he had hurt a friend of mine, it became personal, and then I kind of wanted to expose him for some revenge. So then but I had to play it cool, right? So I started calling him and emailing more often. Hey, when are we going to make a video about these cars that you have? And he kept putting me off, and finally it came time for me to leave Panama. We had sold our furniture, we had sold our car, I had sold my motorcycle, and in 2 weeks I was leaving Panama, for good, except to visit. And I bumped into him at the grocery store, just doing some shopping. And he said, hey, let's get together and make that video. And I said, dude, it's too late. I've been trying to make this video with you for 2 years, and now I'm leaving Panama in 2 weeks, so sorry, but it's not gonna happen. And he said, well, just to let you know that I'm serious this time, here's $100. He paid me $100 right there in the store.
Wow.
And come over at this time and this date. And I said, dude, I don't have...
That's how I know
people
people are serious. They give me $100 to tell me they're serious. Otherwise, I don't believe jack shit that anyone tells me unless you hand me a crisp, clean $100 bill. Period.
Yeah, that's the best way to tell if someone's serious. If they're willing to give you $100, how much more
and then
serious
say
can you be?
this shows that I'm serious. Here's $100.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, okay,
it's
cool,
blue
cool.
And it's Ben Burr's
I
face
believe
on
you now.
it,
But... take me over there. So he did. He came and he picked me up and he gave me a ride to his... It wasn't like a workshop, but it was more just like a storage area. And there were 2 cars there. And a guy was there from Panama City to buy them. And neither one of them would start. Yesterday they both ran fine, but today they wouldn't even start. And they had the body of like a Ferrari on top of a Toyota, some kind of Toyota chassis. And they were very, the fit and finish was very poor. It was a replica car, and that's okay. And the guy that was there to buy them, he knew what kind of cars they were. He knew that they weren't great cars. But what Super Replica advertises is that you can get a Bugatti Veyron for 20 grand, like a perfect replica of a Bugatti Veyron for 20 grand, because their labor costs are cheaper. They can afford to make a profit off of a Veyron, off of a $2 million car for 20 grand. But people buy it. People want them so bad that they stop thinking straight and they think, yeah, I'll just get this. So I went over there and I couldn't. There was nothing to film really because we couldn't make a commercial for Super Replicas because neither of the cars would move. They wouldn't even start, right? So, but I knew that no one was probably ever going to have this opportunity again to expose Super Replicas. No one was going to be given a ride to the guy's warehouse with a camera.
Yeah.
So I took out the camera that I'm talking to now, and I just filmed casually. And I kind of held it in my hand, and I would fold my arms like this, and the camera would be here, and I'd be filming. So some of it's sideways, and some of it might be upside down because I was holding the camera in my hand, like with my arm to my side and filming behind me. But I was getting inside footage of Super Replicas and the cars that they make, which are just pieces of junk, And I was nervous. I was nervous about it because I knew I always sort of wondered if he had made me, right? Because we met once upon a time. So I thought maybe he's canceling on all of these things because he knows who I am and he doesn't want me to come and film his stuff. So when he invites me to a thing finally and he says, I'll come pick you up, I think I might be in over my head here. But I put that out of my mind. I kind of went into this I'm a spy. That's, with this guy really angry.
Yeah, he does look really sad that he was kind of ripped off by him.
Well, he wasn't ripped off. He was sad that this guy is ripping people off, and
a friend of his was ripped off.
A friend of his was ripped off, and a friend of his, quote unquote friend of his, was ripping people off because he was a friend of his at the time.
Yeah, and he may be witness to someone getting ripped off. If they could actually get their piece of shit cars to crank for once, this guy was going to buy it. But they couldn't get either of the cars that they had sitting there to crank.
Yeah, that's
assuming they couldn't crank and they just didn't want the guy to actually hear the engine noise.
Why does this Why does this Lamborghini sound like a fucking Dodge Caravan?
Why does it sound like a 4-cylinder?
complete with the kids screaming in the back seat and everything.
Mom, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Stop kicking my seat.
He's touching me.
She looked at me.
I swear I will turn this scam around.
Angry at me. So I had to wait until now. I've been sitting on this story for years because I had to wait until now to when my wife was finally in the United States with me to be able to tell the story. And I talked with a writer from Jalopnik. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a weird word. But he interviewed me for a story.
There's one thing I do want to bring up. I had never understood why he automatically started calling MC Toon gay. and MC Toon didn't even pick it up. Because he asked MC Toon in the middle of the debate if he was married and if he was gay. And I'm like, why are you asking stupid questions like that?
Well, that's really just a cop-out that anyone uses when they're getting cornered, is to try to attack someone else's character, which people like him think that being gay is some sort of character flaw.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's not.
If someone's gay, they're just gay.
It doesn't fucking matter who you like. Period.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being gay. It's 2020 fucking 2. It's not 1922. Even in 1922, there was nothing wrong with being gay. Anyway, that was just one thing that I was like, wait, why did you just say he's gay? Like,
I mean, how
children,
many
right?
times have we listened to some flurf start getting taken to town in a debate and just go to the homophobic insults?
Or transphobic.
Yeah, transphobic.
I'm not as plugged into the whole
FTFE
flirf
is a
thing.
big
How often do
target
they go
for the
to
transphobic flurfs.
How often do they go to accusations of pedophilia?
Quite often.
Normally, they get kicked off pretty quickly when they do.
Yeah.
I've seen MC Toon kick several off.
Yeah.
And Conspiracy Cats left a debate on Modern Day Debate, just like the last one he did on Modern Day Debate, he left because the guy went into pedophilia.
Yeah. He accused Katz of being a pedophile, and he was like, "Nope,
Well,
I'm not
I
done
don't.
with this."
No, I don't think he accused Katz of it. He just started talking about it, and Katz was like, "I'm not going to be on the stream that this is discussed," and
Yeah.
left.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which is the only thing you can do at that point.
At that point,
and
yeah.
Modern Day Debate, if they had any class whatsoever, they would have kicked the guy off right the fuck then.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I have with them is that they will put up with anything. And I mean
they kept
anything.
him on for another hour reading super chats after that.
Like when NC Toon went on with who was it, the last one that MC Toon went on with the debate?
I don't even remember who it was.
I quit watching
Conspiracy Castle.
Conspiracy Castle, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever Conspiracy Castle just would not shut the fuck up because he was over his 5-minute little diatribe, and when it was time for MC Toon to start talking, he just kept on talking over MC Toon, and I'm like, the moderator's not doing anything to stop it, and because she's just saying, okay, you've had your time, you can shut up now. Okay, you've had your time. Okay, you've had your time. You can stop now. But he just kept on talking.
Yeah,
over
at that
MC
point,
Toon.
you mute the fucker.
Yeah. But they don't understand
They
that.
actually moderate.
Get a
Mute
screen
him.
cap of the mute option and send it to them.
Yeah.
Do you want this? Because you're acting like you want it.
Yeah, that's the point. You mute them. If they keep on talking over you and don't let you talk or let the other person talk, mute them.
But to be honest, I know why they do it. I know why it's such a shitty platform.
They want a
Because
dumpster
it
fire.
makes money. Because when stuff like that happens, the super chats roll in.
Yeah.
People want to bitch about it.
And then they don't even read the super chats, all the super chats, they just read the ones that are $5 and over. Which, okay.
Or the ones that actually have questions for the person that's still in the stream after the other one left.
Yeah. But, I mean, I understand. I get it. There is no contract stating that, they have to read super chats. But if people are sending you money for you to read it on stream,
right?
That's the reason people super chat is so they can get their name put on the screen and name said in the live stream. That's like the 99% of the reason people super chat, because they want that recognition. And then when they don't read it,
I don't even watch Modern Day Debate live anymore.
I don't watch them at all anymore because of what happened with MC Toon.
Yeah.
That just pissed me off to the point.
I did watch JM the other day because I had to, because it was JM. But yeah, I didn't watch the NC Toon and Conspiracy Castle one.
You mean
the last one that I had watched was Conspiracy Cats and whoever that was.
We're kind of getting stun locked here.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, sorry. So you mean the one where JM said that Nathan Thompson was almost a neurosurgeon?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, God.
And then said that he didn't say that Nathan Thompson was almost a neurosurgeon.
No. He said, okay. He said that Nathan Thompson was what could have been a neurosurgeon. And then he walked back and said, no, I didn't say he could have been. I said he was almost a neurosurgeon. I'm like, what? And then he walked back and said again that no, I didn't mean that. I meant that he has the intelligence of a neurosurgeon. I'm like, no, that's not even true.
Yeah, none of what you just said is true.
Yeah.
Dude, compose your thoughts first. Holy crap.
Yeah. He had to walk it back like 5 times that he said what he said. And it's just or whenever he said he was a physicist and taught physics. I'm like,
yeah, that kind of made me laugh. He thinks that teaching physics means making those stupid YouTube videos where he claims the fire is made of sun.
The sun is made of fire, yeah.
Or, yeah, sorry.
The sun is made of fire.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah, he thinks that for Daypod that doesn't know anything about this, because he kind of stays away from the flat earth bullshit, because I don't blame him there at all.
It's just so entertaining sometimes.
Yeah, it is. He said that there's no way the sun can exist out in space because there's no oxygen, and therefore fire can't be in a non-oxygen environment. I'm like, fusion, you dumbass.
His Science 101 series on his YouTube channel, I think the actual words he used was like, fire, the element by which the sun is made of, needs oxygen to burn.
He's a guy who probably thinks that cold fusion is when you put a nuclear bomb in an ice cooler.
I'm sure he has no idea what the difference of fusion and fission are.
No, he doesn't. He absolutely does not. Or what quantum mechanics versus quantum physics is.
Yeah. JM knows less than I do, and I don't know very much about physics.
Like I told NC2 the other day, if there's a top left, there should be a bottom middle as well. And I belong in the bottom middle because I don't know absolutely anything.
Yeah. I know just enough about a lot of stuff to know that I know jack shit about most of it.
Well, see, that's the reason we started this channel to begin with, is because we're just people that don't know a goddamn thing, but yet we can debunk flat Earth anyway.
Yeah.
We're
Okay, let's get back to this video.
Yeah, let's finish this off. We've been going 2.5 hours now.
Story. I don't know. It was maybe like 8 months ago that he interviewed me for that story. And I had all that video then, and I had pictures, and I said, you can't, I have this stuff, but you can't use any of it because he'll know where it came from. And my wife, that could put my wife in danger, so I can't share it with you. But now I can. So I just spoke to that writer again the other day, and he's going to do another story. And you can read the previous story, which I helped with. But it's just crazy. I don't know I don't know how to end this. But I guess I somewhat feel bad for the people who have lost their money. But at the same time, you should be pretty embarrassed that you lost your money to this guy, because a simple Google search. I mean, have you heard of Google? Just watch some.
All the stuff we found on Daniel Seppings, we Googled Daniel Seppings. That's all it took.
I mean, you could just Google his fucking super replicas, and 99% of the stuff you find are, this shit's a scam, and 1% is Danny saying it's not a scam.
When I YouTubed his name, the first, like, I think it was like still on the first page, it was like he got cancer on his nose. Did you see that video? He had like this huge hole. It was like a surgery. And I was like, why do you have to show this? It was so gross.
Probably has to do with when he was asking people to donate to the Cancer Society.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
I didn't see that video, so I don't know. But I would assume, knowing how scam artists work.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of this kind of scam. It's one of those self-selecting scams where all you have to rely on are the people, the small percentage of people dumb enough to fall for it, because there's 7 something billion people on Earth. A small percentage of that can make you a millionaire from scamming them.
From what I understood of one of his scams, he made the claim that one of his wives had cancer, and to get money off of it, basically, he asked for them to donate to her to cover her medical bills.
This sounds really familiar. Almost like I know someone who did this exact scam.
Yeah, that does sound very familiar, doesn't it?
Almost like I used to be on a channel with this bitch.
Yeah.
And she still owes me close to $600.
She. Oh, okay.
Never mind. Yeah. That does sound very familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's still familiar.
I'm not going to tell you what her name is, but it starts with an I and ends in Ilya Moon.
I have no clue
I'll
who
let
that
you
is.
extrapolate from there.
I have no clue who that is. No clue. None whatsoever. I'm ducking out of this really quick.
Of his YouTube videos, it's so obvious that all of this is fake, and it just kills me. He does things like, he doesn't get in front of the camera. He's done enough cons and been busted enough times to know that he can no longer be the front man.
Yeah.
So he's behind the scenes now, and he's got a Panamanian guy called Ritter Sanchez who gets in front of the camera. So someone like Chip Foose goes to Panama for a convention, and they go to the convention, and Ritter Sanchez...
Wait, Chip. I know that name. Chip. Have you been to Panama lately on Quiddies?
I cannot either confirm nor deny that I have been or not been to a Central American place.
Well, I mean, besides going there to pick up our cocaine supplies, have you been to Panama? Beyond that scope.
It depends. Can I fit one of those cars up my ass like I do with our cocaine?
Wait, you've been fitting it up your ass? We gave you that trunk for a reason.
Yeah, but the trunk's not that big. I got a big ass.
Granted, yeah.
My prison wallet is a fucking bank vault.
So this Chip, do they have a brother named Dale?
Dale, wow.
Who knows how many times I heard that growing up? Hey, Chip, where's Dale?
Dale's not here, man.
Especially after the cartoon Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers came out.
Oh God, I loved that show when I was a kid.
Still waiting for that reboot, damn it, Disney.
And Gadget is my spirit animal.
All right, I'm gonna hit the hay. I can't make it to the end.
Well, we're
yeah,
about
we
to
keep
quit
going
anyway.
off on too many tangents.
Yeah,
Too many tangents.
Yeah. Well, you guys
Too many
have yourselves a good night.
Good night,
Night,
Mallory.
Mallory.
Night.
Night.
P.S. Fuck you. Okay, bye.
Anyway, let's finish this.
Just has his arm around the guy and he's giving the thumbs up like we're partners. And then they go and they edit that to a video that says Chip Foose has endorsed super replicas. But there's something on Chip Foose's website that I mean, they actually had to come forward and say, no, we don't have anything to do with that company. We don't know what they're talking about. But they just, I don't know, they just do these weird things that are just so amateurish looking that anybody out there that lost money, I'm sorry, but you've got to, use your head a little bit, I guess. Come on. This guy,
Okay,
it frustrates me because
I'm sorry to keep on pausing like this. If you fall for a scam like this, at least, you kind of deserve it. I'm sorry.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. They never, ever show the interior of their cars. And even in that article we read earlier, when they had one of their finished replicas sitting out, Danny told the person, do not take pictures of it and post it online because it's not representative of our normal work.
Yeah. Oh, wait. But the thing is, you Google his name, any of his aliases, and it shows up, oh, this is a scam, this is a scam, this is a scam, this is a scam. Every single site, until you reach like the 5th fucking page of Google, tells you it's a scam. You have to reach really far into the Google machine to see to see Danny saying it's not a scam.
Yeah, but kind of like it said in that article, most of the people getting scammed are non-native English speakers, people who maybe understand enough English to be like, "Ooh, they're talking about getting a car for cheap. I want a car like that," but they don't. They can't understand English enough. Like if they Google it to see, hey, this guy's a scammer.
Google has a translation function.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of the times people who get caught up in these scams are mentally impaired in some way or another.
Yes, the mentally impaired people who have $50,000 to blow on a replica car.
What, retirees, dude?
Oh, good point. Good point. Good.
Well, it's not just retirees. Like they talked about a lot of people from the United Arab Emirates, where pretty much every person that lives there has one of the real supercars. So I guess like the working class people that don't have a supercar, like, hey, I want one. So they look online and they're like, oh, check this guy out. I saw this YouTube where he can make me a car for this. So they just go to his website. They don't Google it to find out if it's a scam or anything.
Okay,
and most of the debunking articles are in English anyway.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to agree with PJ CNET on this. The problem is when people say they kind of deserve it, if they fall for scams like this, they're less likely to report it, and these bastards continue. The amount of money it could ruins lives. Yeah, that was, I mean, it's kind of broken English, but I understand exactly what you're saying, and yes, it does. It does ruin lives, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't report it. I'm saying that they kind of halfway deserve it, but at the same time, I do have sympathy for people who have fallen for scams like this because it can happen to anyone, really.
Yeah, I've had friends that have fallen for scams that seemed like fucking no-brainers whatsoever. Like the secret shopper scam, for instance. I have a friend who fell for that and lost $1,500. The one where you find this job listing for secret shopper and they send you a fake cashier's check for like $2,000 or something, and they're like, oh, well, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cash that and then go do your secret shopping, and the rest is for you, except for the $1,500 that you have to send to the next person.
Well, see,
so then you end up sending them $1,500, and then your bank's like, that was not a real cashier's check, so sorry.
Yeah, it bounces
sent
later.
a dumbass. You were a dumbass that just sent a scammer $1,500.
Well, I almost fell for a freaking phishing email while I was blasted out of my mind on Unisom and other such stuff.
I almost fell for a scam where
How many people have signed into those scams just because they're drunk and they have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Or smartphone.
Oh, a lot of times I'll be drunk or just in a bad mood or something, and one of these scam callers calls my house, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's fuck with some 1 o'clock. And I will play with them as long as they'll let me.
And I almost fell for a scam myself back in around 2012, I want to say. Basically, they were saying that I won a car, and all I had to do was pay them $500 and meet them at X location, and they would have the car for me. And I was like, well, a car, and I believe it was like $10,000. And they said, all you have to do is send us $500 and you get your car and money. And I'm like, can't you just take it out the $10,000? They're like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, okay, give me the $10,000, then I'll go in the shop, get you that gift card, and then I'll bring you the $500. We can't do that either. I'm like, but I'm getting the money anyway, so why can't I just take the money out of the money you're giving me?
Yeah.
They're like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah, I got one time that was like, you want a $500 Lowe's gift card or something like that. All you have to do is subscribe to a bunch of magazines to get it.
Oh God!
I was like, yeah, I don't need any magazines. Just send me the card. They're like, no, you need to get magazines. I was like, no, you said I won the card, so
send the card.
when you're ready, I'll give you my mailing address. You can send me the card. And they're like, oh, well, let me send you to our claims department so that they can get that for you. So I get sent to someone else, and they're like, okay, so which magazines were you thinking about getting? I was like, none. It's like, they told me I want a card, so I'm going to give you my shipping address so that I can get the card.
Yeah.
And I went around in circles with them for, it was over an hour. And they just kept transferring me to like the higher up, and then the next higher up, and the next higher up, until finally one of them cusses me out and hangs up on me.
Let me guess. They had a very distinct accent.
No, if I remember correctly, and this was like 2009 or something.
Well, I'll tell you that mine had.
So if I remember correctly, they did sound English.
The one that the one I was talking about just then, the car and the money, they had a New York accent, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. New Yorkers.
There are scammers that are not Indian.
Or Nigerian.
Or Russian. Or Nigerian.
Most of the ones I've seen online are either Nigerian or Indian. There have been a few Russian ones, but those are usually kept to emails.
Yeah.
The Russian ones are usually email scams.
And it's always so easy to figure it out because any company that would be doing something like that would not use broken English in their emails.
Yeah.
And like, if you're getting, if Google says you won a Google Play card for $1,000 or whatever, they're not going to send you an email from, some weird, not English email address.
Yeah. Or co.uk or something.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's that self-filtering thing. That's by design. It's to make sure that the only people that bite are the people that'll be extra ashamed that they fell for it at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the people that just aren't just don't know well enough to look for signs that it may be fake.
Or, they have really shitty English.
Well, I had to point something out in the chat. Dapper Dinosaur, great that you're here. Thank you for coming
Oh,
by.
hey, Dapper Dino.
But to your point, who doesn't want magazines you'll probably never get? They actually do send the magazines because I've gotten one of those scams before, and I actually did sign up for the magazines. It was like $5 a month, so I really didn't care because it's not much to spend on it. But they are legitimately a magazine company that claims you won
Yeah.
a card for like Lowe's or Walmart or anything of that nature, but they never deliver on the card itself and just send you the fucking magazines
Yeah.
for really cheap.
Yeah. And the best way to get which do they even make magazines anymore? Like,
Yeah, they do. They do.
Oh, okay. The best way to get them though is to go, to your grocery store or wherever and buy a magazine, and it always has the thing to get a subscription in
Yeah.
that you can tear out and fill out. And it's like you don't have to send any money in with it. You just send in the subscription card and then they bill you. And so you send that in, and they'll send you like 6 months worth of the magazine, whether you send them money or not.
Yeah.
So you do that, and then after
magazine.
6 months or so, if you don't get the magazine, go buy another one and fill out another one of those cards. They'll send you another 6 months. I got like 3 years of Maxim subscriptions like that.
I did the same thing with Maxim too. I did the same exact thing with Maxim. Maxim actually has really good magazines. I will not lie. Maxim's really good.
I
Rolling
fucking
Stone
love
here.
Maxim. Back
Rolling
in the
Stone.
early 2000s when I was in college, I didn't pay for the subscription, but I was subscribed to Maxim, and I still have a bookshelf with all the Maxims on. And the spines of the magazines at that time, if you put them in order on a shelf, gave you pictures of women in lingerie on your bookshelf.
They did.
Like each spine was a little slice of a picture, but when you put them all together, you got a full picture of this sexy lady in lingerie.
Yeah.
So I've got several ladies in lingerie on one of my bookshelves.
Hey, this is my kind of party.
But Maxim does, they do have really good articles in Maxim. I'm not going to lie.
That's how I learned about absinthe back long before absinthe was legal in the US. And I ended up going online and finding a company that sold it. And I spent, I think it was like, with shipping, it was like 55 British pounds at the time. This was before the euro, by the way. It was like 55 British pounds. And I didn't bother looking up the exchange rate because I was a dumbass and I was thinking, 55 pounds, that's probably about $55. No, it was
around 80 to 100. That's around $100.
It was a 2-to-1 conversion rate when I bought that bottle of Seaboard Absinthe, a 500 milliliter bottle of Seaboard Absinthe. Cost me $110, and I put it on the credit card that my parents paid for. So, like a month later, my phone rings, and my mom's like, "Why do you have a charge for $110 to this company in England?" I was like, yeah, I was I was going to direct to play because I was taking directing 3 at the time, and the final project for that class was you had to direct a 1-act play. I was going to direct a play, and I needed to order some plays, and I didn't know the conversion rate. I thought it was going to be like $30 or $40, and my mom bought it enough that she was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
But yeah, these type of scams are not. The magazine scam isn't very malicious because a lot of people do appreciate the really cheap magazines because, like you said, Maxim is a decent magazine company, and they used to be. Maxim used to actually be very what's the word advertised heavily on UPN. As well as Spike TV. Spike TV also did a lot of advertisements for Maxim as well. Spike TV was really good at the time too, but I don't know if they're still around or not. Because the only reason I watched Spike TV at all was because of their cop chase TV series.
Wasn't Spike TV the channel that had MXC?
Yeah, yeah.
I also had a
That was
thousand
the
ways
only
to
reason
die.
to watch that channel was MXC. That was the greatest show that was ever made ever.
MXC was a good show. Yeah, MXC was a good show.
They
You
also
can
have that
find
History's
most of the
Deadliest Warriors
episodes
one.
on
Oh.
YouTube, which is awesome.
History's Deadliest Warriors was also really good on Spike.
But MXC, that was just one of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
But Spike TV was a
love
great.
that show.
No, Spike TV also had Judge Matthews, I believe it was.
I had some friends that worked for Judge Matthews.
Judge Matthews was a pretty cool guy too, but I mean, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to finishing this video. We only have 2 or 3 minutes left.
We are doing that.
It's only going to take us 3 hours to get through it.
Yeah, it's only going to take us 3 hours to get through 3 minutes.
Because this guy's a religious fanatic. He has started his own church in Panama, or he's part of some fundamental LDS church group, and he's taking advantage of people. He's taking advantage of people who are poor and uneducated and very superstitious, and he's telling them that he's a prophet and they're believing him. And it frustrates me that people are giving him money that allows him to carry on with the projects that he's doing. He's a bad guy, and I hope that, I mean, he seems, if you search for things about him, you'll find like a history of articles. You'll see that he was in Honduras for a while, and he had a big scam running there. He started out in Australia, and God called him on missions to the United States. He was deported from the United States, and then he seems to bounce around in Central America until one of the governments of Central America, wherever he is, finally says, wait a minute, we don't want this guy here. And then they deport him, and then he goes and starts another scam in another country. The last time I heard from him, he sent me an email saying that he had found the Ark of the Covenant in Panama. And it was a place that I had made a video at before. I knew there was no Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, he claimed that he had found the Ark of the Covenant and was holding it.
Oh yeah, that's another one of his scams. Was he was trying to create this like theme park type thing in Panama, where you could pay to go see the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. Oh God, he is just in so many scams.
And Dapper, I do not remember that, but it's only because whenever they quit showing MXC, I stopped watching Spike.
I think
that was the greatest show.
I think actually Spike turned into True TV. I honestly think Spike was True TV at one minute. True TV was Spike.
They were bought by CBS, and Spike. The original idea behind Spike TV was it was a men's channel.
Yeah,
it was a channel of entertainment for men. And then CBS bought it and was like, we don't need a channel of entertainment for men. So we'll just show true crime documentaries.
And I used to love those.
I still love true crime documentaries, even though everyone is like, this woman got murdered. Oh, it was her husband.
Also,
didn't see that coming.
Also, when UPN went down, Star Trek Voyager, I believe, also went to Spike TV. If I'm not mistaken, when UPN,
they carried other good shows. It was just that I've really only cared about MXC. Like that was just the best show ever.
Either that or that might have been the reruns. I think they might have been doing Star Trek Voyager reruns, but they did have Star Trek Voyager on Spike TV late at night. So that was. I mean,
they also had 1,000 episodes of CSI Miami.
Yeah, that's also another thing they have with CSI. That's a lot. They did a lot of crime stuff on Spike TV after CBS acquired it, which I have no problem with actually, because a lot of people like that stuff.
Facty, the half-hour ads, I think they tried that. I think they tried, like, they would show an entire program without commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And then do, like, half an hour of commercials.
Ads. Yeah.
Between shows.
And they didn't just do that.
But then people would just change the channel for half an hour, watch something else, and then come back and watch the show. They were like, yeah, this isn't working.
But they didn't do the
ratings drop as soon as the show ends, and then come back up when the next one starts.
What they
did
then
they started putting commercials in with the show again.
What they did was they didn't do the normal like 1 minute ads. They did those like extended ads that go on for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
which they don't do anymore because those ads are just way
Well,
too long.
some they're not individual ads, but I've noticed a lot of times I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, but every
Me
once
neither.
in a while there will be a movie or something that I want to see on. So I'll record it on my DVR and then watch it later so that I can fast forward through the ads. And they'll show 5 minutes of the movie and then 7 minutes of
Yeah,
ads, and then
annoying.
another 5 minutes of the movie and 7 minutes of ads. And the recording is like 4 fucking hours long for a 90
Yeah,
minute movie when
yeah.
they do that. It's
It's
ridiculous.
ridiculous. Yeah.
And so that's why the only thing that I watch on TV now is sports.
See,
I've
that's
given up on everything except for sports. And even that nowadays, I really only watch the teams that I care about.
that's something that the Japanese have done. I've tried to do. Instead of showing ads, sometimes they'll show like these small 5 minute anime shows because they have like actual animes that are only 5 minutes each episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Episode, like Digiturate, they used to show it as a quote unquote ad sometimes. Like you're watching an anime and then Digiturate comes on in the middle of that anime and you're like, oh yay, another anime I can watch while I'm watching
Well,
an anime.
even the Nickelodeon channel does that to an extent because they have several shows that are like 15 minutes long. Even SpongeBob has a 30-minute SpongeBob episode has two 15-minute episodes inside of it.
Yeah,
So they'll show the 15-minute episode and then have this extended commercial break and then another 15-minute episode.
yeah. Or they'll show 10 minutes of the episode.
We're never getting through this video, by the way, just
Let's
so
just
everyone in the
finish.
chat is aware, because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure everyone else has come to this realization at this point. We are never getting through to the end of this video.
Let's finish it. Let's just finish it.
The ultimate.
But he says he
slumlord.
found the Ark of the Covenant there, and he was like setting up a tour company so people could sign up and go take a tour of and see the Ark of the Covenant. And I started to write an email, and I said, in your quest to surround yourself by stupid people, please remember that I am not one of them. But I deleted that, and I wrote back, hey, that's great news. Don't get your face melted off like the Nazis in Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I don't know. This has been a True Story Sunday about the craziest thing that ever happened to me. A crazy person who I once met in Utah ended up being my neighbor in Panama when I lived in Panama. And I did my best to get some video proof that what he does is a scam. And if you still are convinced that it's real, then shame on you, because you're supporting a guy who's a very bad person. So, ride safe, travel far, do it soon, everyone. This has been a kind of a confusing True Story Sunday, but I don't know how else to tell it rather than just try to plow through it. Read the articles on Jalopnik and get more information about it, and just do your own Google searches. See ya.
I have to say that at this point, the only people that don't believe that Danny is a scammer are Danny and people that have never heard of Danny.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying Danny
If you
is
have
a
heard
scammer?
of Danny, then you believe he's a scammer.
You just hear the name Daniel Seppings, you know, oh, that's a scammer name. Okay.
I mean, we really need to get a dictionary entry here. Danny Seppings is a
Scammer.
synonym of scammer.
Yeah, he is such a Danny Seppings.
You pulled a Danny Seppings.
We really need to get that name copyrighted. Just copyright his name. It's just a synonym for scammer.
I may be making an entry on Urban Dictionary tonight.
Good one. Oh, I might actually do the same, and yeah, we can cooperate behind that. Just get
Yeah.
Danny Seppings' name in Urban Dictionary, just like we did. Just like how people did for Rick Santorum.
Yeah. Ooh, Santorum.
Santorum. You just pulled a Santorum, dude. No. Anyway, what did we
Well,
learn
the
tonight?
actual definition in Urban Dictionary of Santorum is pretty fucking gross.
Yes, it is. So what did we learn tonight? The first thing we learned was Danny Seppings is a fucking scammer.
And it's all the U.S.'s fault because Bush did 9/11,
And it's the Mormons' fault because Mormons exist.
Yeah, the soldiers are attacking small businesses instead of the right people.
Yeah, the quote unquote right people.
And yeah, Mormons and stuff.
Mormons and stuff. Mormons worship skulls, apparently. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He got the Yale Skull and Bones Society confused with Mormons because Yale are the ones with the Skull and Bones Society, not Mormons. And yes, there are Mormon Freemasons, but the Freemasons of the Mormon Church, you know what they do? Do you know what the Masons do for the Mormon Church?
No.
They raise money for charities.
I mean, isn't that what pretty much all Masons do?
They help homeless
charities
people.
And they get together and drink.
Well, they don't get
every
together
once
and
in
drink.
a while they walk
don't
in parades.
They don't drink. That's the one thing the Mormons don't do is they never drink.
No, just Masons in general. Like if you go
Mormon
to a
Masons.
Mason lodge, they get together and drink beer and shoot the shit and play poker, and then they march in a parade.
And if you're in the Shriners, you get to drive one of those little cars. With the
I always wanted to drive one of those in a parade. I wanted to become a Shriner so that I could drive the little go-kart.
But no, Mormon Masons, what they do is they raise money for charities. They actually they feed the homeless. They shelter the homeless sometimes as well. They give blankets out to homeless people. They help homeless people. That's like 90% of what the Mormon Masons do is help homeless. And I see no problem with that. I see that and I'm like, yes, go Mormons. Yeah, do that. Please help out as many people as you can. That is a brilliant use. That is a brilliant use of your tithes.
Yeah.
Tithe money.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but do you remember, because I thought of this when I was hearing about him threatening to bomb that Mormon church. Do you guys remember the guy that was high up in the Mormon church that actually bombed I forget if it was his friend's house or someone, and it turned out like he was forging these quote unquote original documents for the Mormon church and then selling them. And he was about to be found out. And so the guy that had the dirt on him, he actually set off a bomb and killed the guy.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing about that back when it happened, like 20 years ago or whatever it was. And when I was hearing about what Danny did, I was like, holy fuck. Is this a Mormon thing? Like, when you're about to be found out for scamming people, do you just try to bomb them?
That's just like Australians. Whenever they get pissed off at someone, do they automatically just say, "I'm filing a lawsuit against you"?
Yeah, and then I'll give you the 6 cents that you need to get your YouTube channel reinstated.
Yeah, I'll just give you that 6 cents you needed.
We really thought we were never getting our channel back until that 6 cents came and YouTube gave us our channel back.
Yeah, thank you, random Australian stranger that gave us that 6 cents. That really helped out, tremendously in getting our channel back.
And like Facty said, Masons build brick walls.
Yeah, that too. But no, I have no problem with the Mormons. Like I said, I was an ex-Mormon once, and I have no issues whatsoever with them. They are the kindest, most polite people you will ever encounter. Their beliefs are a little bit out there, but they are genuinely good people. I have never met a quote-unquote bad Mormon. Except for Daniel Seppings, but he's not really a Mormon because he believes in that bullshit. But anyway,
one cool thing about that Mormon church I was talking about earlier that I went to with my friend, the I don't think you call them preachers, but minister maybe. The minister of that church.
They're called what was the name of them? Bishops.
Bishop, yeah. His son actually became my drug dealer for like 2 years. And so
that sounds
the
like the
Mormon
ultimate
Church,
Mormon thing. That sounds like the ultimate
Mormon
Mormon
Church
thing.
scored me a lot of marijuana back in the day.
That sounds like an
back when I was in high school.
ultimate Mormon thing to do. Yeah, except for
Yeah.
heroin or stuff. They sell a lot of the youth will sell marijuana because
And I
they
mean,
need that
this was
money.
when this was back when it was really frowned upon.
Yeah.
This was like mid to late 90s, back when it was still really illegal.
Weed good enough to make you believe that the Native Americans were descended from a lost tribe of Jewish people.
No, it was shit weed, but it was all we could get around.
Well, see, the Mormons.
It was
Well,
that
they take that
Mexican
stuff for
brick weed is
themselves,
what
it
it
seems.
was. It was that
Well, see-
fucking $30 for a quarter Mexican brick weed.
Well, see, the funny thing is, the Mormons are really against stuff, mind-altering substances. That's one of the major things. Like, that's the reason they don't drink alcohol. Well, they do it in moderation, is what they call it. They said you're allowed to drink alcohol, just do it in moderation and don't, poison your body with it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, I smoked that ditch weed for a few years in high school, and then I go to college, and in Asheville at the time, Asheville actually, like the area around Asheville, North Carolina, produced the most marijuana of anywhere in the United States at this time. Of course, it was trumped by California soon after.
Yeah.
But at this time, like Buncombe County, Madison County, Yancey County, all of those, that was the epicenter of marijuana production. And this was really, really, really good weed. And so I had been smoking this ditch weed for a few years, and I go there and I go to buy a quarter from someone, and he's like, "Yeah, that'll be $100." I was like, "I thought a quarter was $25."
No, sweetie.
And so I buy it, and I was at my friend's dorm, and we packed a bong, and I took one hit of this, and then left to go home. And they went to a different college than me. It was like a 20-minute drive. I got in my car. I didn't realize I was driving until 15 minutes into the trip.
Sounds about
And
right.
then the rest of the trip, like the other 5 minutes that it took me to get back to my place, I was crying because I thought, I was completely convinced that I had wrecked my car and died, and I was now like laying there in a ditch somewhere dead and dreaming that I was still driving.
Oh, God.
Like, I had never been that high in my life, and I had smoked so much weed to that point, and then one hit of really good weed got me to that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, one movie that's like you're stuck on that lonesome highway and it's hell.
Yeah. Yeah, Daniel Seppings is a scam artist of the nth degree.
Yeah. Literally everything he touches turns to a scam.
Yeah. And I honestly think he only got into the flat earth because he saw Nathan Oakley and Sleeping Warrior and all these other flat earthers making mega money off of it, and he was like,
well,
oh, there's a scam I haven't touched.
If you look, he tried to get into the flat earth like 4 years ago. If you go to his flat earth channel, a lot of his videos are like 3 and 4 years old because he tried to get into the flat earth scam back when it was an actual lucrative scam.
Yeah.
Back when a lot of the flat earth channels did make good money doing it. And now there's like 3 or 4 flat earth channels that actually make profit.
Yeah. Like Nathan Oakley.
So he was trying to get into it right in the height of flat earth bullshit.
Yeah.
But it didn't really work, and he left it alone for a little while and then came back and tried to do it again, and MC Toon caught him.
Yeah. And we have to thank MC Toon for this little gem, because if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have this show right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't even know who this guy was. And just so everyone knows, FTFE is debating Danny on Monday night.
Yeah, FTFE is debating Danny Monday night, and I can't wait until I see this dumpster fire. because
Yeah.
that's Danny
I
hasn't
mean, if he
heard
calls him anything other than scammer, I'm going to be disappointed.
because he claimed what Danny says he has never heard of FTFE. Yet I'm like, that's kind of impossible because FTFE is like the quintessential flat Earth debunker now. It's like
Yeah.
the only big, like really big flat Earth debunker right now, except for NC Tune, of course.
Yeah, the two of them are really the only ones that are still pumping out a lot of that type of content. You know, a lot of the big ones, Cool Hard Logic, and even Professor Stick doesn't deal with it anymore. Sir Sick doesn't deal with it anymore. Creaky doesn't really deal with it that much anymore.
Creaky still covers it every now and again, and Simon Dan also does it every Friday.
Yeah, Simon Dan still does his Flat Earth Fridays.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of the older creators that covered it, that their channels grew because of it, have gone to other things. I mean, even Radical. Radical's channel got started debunking Flat Earth, and now he doesn't cover it at all.
Our channel started covering Flat Earth, and yet how many times have we done Flat Earth like last year alone? Like
I mean, I still
6?
enjoy doing it, but it's just there's nothing really left to talk about.
Yeah.
Just point and laugh at stuff every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Bob the Science Guy has driven the sextant into the ground on them.
Yeah.
Like single-handedly.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Where's Wally and people like that do their part and
it only took
have a
us,
good laugh over it.
It only took us about 5 minutes to debunk the Black Swan.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't take me that long. As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, the fucking cranes, man.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking cranes.
Looked like they were melting.
Like, that's got to be Level Earth Observer's crane.
Oh, God. But yeah, we've been going 3 hours and 2 minutes and 5 seconds now, so let's go ahead and call it a night.
It's time. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
I fell asleep. What's going on?
We're calling it a night.
Oh. Well, thank you for coming. We'll see you in hell.
Yeah. Good night.
The outro's not playing. Great.
Woohoo!
There it goes.
Oh, I was about to start singing the carnival song. I think that's a better outro anyway. Just me going. You
know, they can still hear us.
I know. So they're getting a better outro. You're welcome, everyone.